yo, silly, got drunk at the hilly. I can't PD, and I can't find my willy. I'm just here for a little attention. Yeah, I got severe hypertension. So why you trying to get to know a higgy better? Can't and whores, Bella's mom and 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗧. I don't know, I'll give it a go. ATF's big show, I ain't no hoe. I don't need a new man with the double D rack. Never mind, higgy, your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? I'm not one of the girls trying to get locked down. Prince Higgy, baby, Jameson crown. I get down with the hilly low comp ticket. 16 whiskeys is how I kick it. And you get excited for a midnight snack. I already told you, your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? Your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that. I like sleeping alone. This won't go all night. A little needy and strange. It's true love at first sight. I'm the real deal. I do what I gotta do. From the rip, my whole heart's for you. Your whole heart is not for me. Not a half, not a quarter, not a claw, not a re. You know what's the problem? You're trouble and you're hot. I'm big, thick neck daddy Higgy. He's not. I got a question, not to be rude. Are you queer? Cause you keep calling me dude. Are you glad that you had walked me out? No self-doubt and you didn't cop out. No last words, I'll just mutter abide. Don't diss the caterpillar and sweat the butterfly. All of them girls must have got you gas. And when they see a good thing, they don't triple bypass. Well, for this town, that's right on track. Cause for me, your game's too whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? Game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that. What am I? Another pretty face getting you a drink from my military base? All I gotta know is why did you use me? You talking? Psh, excuse me. We can't have nothing. You wear depends. Well, if we ain't getting married, then we can't be friends. Well, then I guess it's nothing. Well, hey, I think you're puffing. Well, pass that weed. I won't weed whack nothing. You better catch a flashback. Remember, you ain't tapping it. You ain't my style, and I'm not having it. All I remember from that late night kiss is I'm more the mister, you're more the miss. Well, look, I treat you good. Treat yourself better. And I always come along. Write her a love letter. I greet you every day with a martini at the door. You won't last a year, you're overgrown bed sore. Well, I'm known in this town, and there, that's a piss. I got no one to blame but myself and Melissa. You didn't answer me, Karen. Am I a good kisser? Don't remember, had a lot of Hennessy. A lot of girls out there that won't say no. The ones you take to your crib with Berkey. Boom, now all my feelings is getting fatter. All I wanna do is drink booze and eat food. Tell you nice shit like chillax, dude. So when there's nothing in the fridge but a natty, just call Big Face Higgy Daddy.
My name's Aidan Kearney, also known as 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗺.
He is a senior editor for 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗺 Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗺 that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I know you do.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wild, and you must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8 going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good? Good? Excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Aidan Kearney. I'm your fearless host here. You can call me a variety of names if you'd like. If you're new to the program, introduce myself. You can call me 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗺𝗏. Old school turtle riders do that. You can call me doctor. It's actually my preferred pronoun because if 𝗪𝗿𝗄𝗆 is a doctor, then I'm definitely a doctor, and I'm way more likable of a doctor than he is. You could call me daddy if you'd like. It's not required. I understand for some of you, especially the 20%, it could be a little weird. It could be a little weird. And I definitely would not ask you to do anything like that. But at the same time, for the 80%, it could be a little fun, right? So I will allow it. I will definitely allow that to happen. So, you know, other than that, you could call me, what else? 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃 Kearney. That's my Facebook name and my true crime name when I'm deep in the woods with my leather jacket on, solving murder mysteries. You know, I actually was on there today. I don't know how many followers I have on the 𝗵𝗵𝗃 Kearney Facebook account now. Just started it like a month ago because Clarence Woods Emerson got nuked. But I do a bus stop live from there every morning. I did one today. It was my biggest one yet. I had over 1,000 people watching because I was just at the scene. Let me tell you guys, it was lively down there today. I feel like we're back. I feel like we're back in business. The stupid buffer zone has been neutered. Hardo is like mentally defeated, I think. You know, a federal judge told him that the fun's over. Can't go arresting people anymore, like Rosa Parks, Erica Walsh. You can't do that anymore. People are allowed to be down there. And now everybody hangs out, you know, right outside the registry of deeds. Like there's probably like 50 people around there today. All the pink people. I met people today as soon as I got there from Florida, Texas. One of the Texan ladies stuck $100 in my G-string. That was nice. Who else we had down there? We had a Georgia turtle rider. I say Florida, Texas, Georgia, and Iowa. A couple hot guys there. So shout out to them too. But yeah, we had everything. It was awesome down there. It was a lively event. Just the mood, the spirits are high. I don't know. People are just positive, man. Maybe because the defense is going and the weather's getting better, but I will be, you know, I'm going to be pretty much down there every day for the duration of this because there's not that much left. You know, we got the Kearney defense is going, and then it's time for a verdict. And I think verdict week will have even more people down there. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. So, you know, it's going to be an acquittal, guys. Just be positive, you know. Don't pay attention to the noise. The facts are on. They have not done anything to prove that John O'Keefe was hit by a motor vehicle driven by Karen Reed. They have not done anything remotely resembling that. So I have full faith that this jury is going to return a verdict of not guilty, and it is going to be awesome when that happens. It's going to be one of the most satisfying things ever, and that's all you can do is just be positive because we're all in this together. We're all in this for justice for John O'Keefe. We're all in this for justice for Karen Reed, because if they can do this to one of us, they can do this to all of us, can't they? You know, the difference between Karen Reed and a lot of other people is just bad luck. A lot of people have had a couple of drinks and got behind the wheel of a car and not killed someone. That's what Karen Reed did, right? Her crime that night was, drinking and driving. She's definitely did that. But a lot of people have done that. And just because you do that doesn't mean you killed somebody. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. And it doesn't mean that, you shouldn't do it, but it doesn't mean that you killed someone, period. That's it. If she didn't drink that night, then none of this would be happening, because John still would have been killed. As long as she dropped him off at that house, John was going to die no matter what. And that's it. That's it. So she could have been sober as a clam. And the same thing would happen to John, except they wouldn't have been able to blame it on drinking and driving. They couldn't do it. So that's the only difference between Karen Reed and the rest of us, is bad luck. She dropped her boyfriend off inside a house. A fight happened and something freaky happened, right? A bad luck for the McAlberts too. Like, I'm sure they did not intend on murdering John O'Keefe. I've always contended that, right? Like, I've always said that this, obviously that was never the plan. That's ridiculous that they're going to lure him there and just for the purpose of murdering him. It's not a plan that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It was a fight. People get drunk sometimes and they fight, especially the McAlberts. They do it sober. They tried to do it to me outside of CF McCarthy's, so it happened, and Karen Reed didn't do it, period. So, and if they could convict somebody on this, they can convict anyone of anything. I don't know how you get acquitted in this country for anything if she's convicted of anything here. Like, not only is there no evidence that she did any of this, but there's ample evidence that this was a setup, that this was a cover-up, rather, that other people murdered John O'Keefe, and that was covered up after the fact. And more of that came out today in court. Oh boy, we got a lot of content to get through tonight. So strap in, guys. We're going to have a hell of a show. It's going to be a good one. Lots to talk about. All right. So yeah, you call me Journalism Jesus. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. We passed 130,000 subs while I was in court today. I kept refreshing to try to get it exactly at 130, and I missed it. Damn it. That's cool. Let's see. Let's get to 131. Let's do it. I see how many people are watching on YouTube right now. We got about 5,000 people watching on YouTube. And I bet you maybe 500 of you ain't subscribed, maybe 10% of you, maybe more if I look at the analytics. And if you smash that subscribe button now, we can get close to 131, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I still haven't got my plaque. They're supposed to send you an email. But we never got an email. So I don't know. I guess I'm monetized again, which is cool. So I make some money off of like the other videos when I've like put out videos and stuff, but I don't want to do super chats. I don't like super chats because they take like 30-40%. So we built our own platform called Turtle Chat. If you click at the link at the top, you can click on that and you can pay whatever amount of money you want. And you can, write a message and I will read that message out loud to the class. However, be warned, if you write a stupid message, right, I might roast you. Again, this is not, I did a whole rant on this the other night. I love Melanie Little. I love all the other content creators. I guess the difference between me and them is just, if you pay me money, I will still make fun of you. Okay. I will thank you because I'm polite, but I will roast you. If you don't be a Dwayne, I don't know how Dwayne's doing out there. Dwayne gave me $5 the other night and I had to roast him because he sent the centigraph from hell. Like, exactly, Aaron, the centigraph of all centigraphs. All right. And by the way, shout out to the Rumble Rats over there. We got 40 of you people watching over there. It's nice to see. So why don't I start by reading some turtle chats, and I'll read as many as I can. I'm going to try to be somewhat brief with these. And then I just want to get right into the content, right into it. So let's see what we got. It today, June 1st or 2nd. Today's June 2nd, right? Okay. Asarin Fish sends $10. Goes, listen, Turtle, since you're since you're around John DePietro a lot more than most of us, do you think he honestly believes his own BS? I don't think he does. I think he just realizes he can't compete with an award-winning journalist and decided it pays him better to be the biggest person in Crazy Town. Yeah, I mean, he's just nuts. I mean, he's just like, he's a moron, kind of. Like he took Wendy Murphy seriously. And he's kind of like got boomer mentality to him. Like if you can't tell that Wendy Murphy is an absolute crackpot and you take her seriously, I don't know what to tell you. Like if you need to be told that Wendy Murphy's crazy, I don't know what to tell you. So, I mean, you're obviously just not a smart person. So again, first thing I saw when I got there today was the new sign. Did you guys see this? I posted, it was on Twitter. Let me show you this new sign that I walked into today when I was there. Listen, turtle. This one. Says, this is the Turtle Corner. No fake news, award-winning journalism only. So that's me. That's me. And, he was so mad. John's like, I'm not in the court this week. You can have your panic attacks in that corner. John, imagine saying something like that you can have your panic attacks in that corner. John is the one freaking out over me being there. Like he called the cops a million times on me. Troop, I'm in the middle of a broadcast. I was not the one having a panic attack there, John. It seemed like you were, okay? With your glasses. Did you really announce that you will testify against Karen Reed to try and avoid prison? Are these people retarded? This is the new thing that they're running with. Turtle Boy is going to rat on Karen Reed. Rat on her for what? Wait, you guys are still pushing the conspiracy thing that me and Karen conspired to commit? You guys are really pushing that? You know, there was a grand jury for that, right? And it returned no bill. Oh, wait, but that was before they got our phones, right? And they went through our phones. Wait, that was like 6 months ago. So when is the grand jury coming back with? Oh yeah. What's funny is they have my phones and they have her phones and they don't have a single fucking thing in them that's even remotely close to being useful. Like the only phones that have been useful are Michael Proctor's and the rest of the 𝗵𝗵𝗻𝗄𝗃. Their phones have been very useful. My phone? No, my phone has been useless. There's nothing in my phone except a lot of things that some people don't want to see. Let's just put it that way. All right. Others might. I don't know. All right. So thank you for that one, Asher and Fish. Jolene sends $10, goes, hello, doctor. While today was great, I need to follow up for my turtle chat on Saturday night. Again, this is kind of long. So many of us realized Karen was innocent because of the long list of weird, shady behavior, the McAlberts and Higgins, that's been solidified by their shitty defensive gaslighting testimony in the first trial. I know when I'm being lied to, many of us do, not calling these witnesses is a colossal mistake. The jury needs to hear and discern their lies. The battle of the expert is way too risky, in my opinion. And Jolene, I hate to say I agree with you, but I kind of agree with you. I kind of do. I pray to God I'm wrong. I pray to God this jury comes back with a quick acquittal and we say, oh, Turtle Boy was wrong. Look at that. Quick acquittal. But I don't know. It just last time the McAlberts are just sold. They sold the people that voted not guilty for Karen and stuck by that through and through. Like the McAlberts were the reason why. No doubt about it. The McAlberts were the reason why those people stuck with that. But because they were just such obvious liars. And maybe that's where Kelly Deva comes in today. Like she was in full McAlbert form, was she not? When she took the stand, like she was just a McAlbert. She was inducted into the McAlbert Hall of Fame today. That's what she was. So, yeah. Okay. Next up. I just still have that up. Welcher's Load Vargas sends $25. Goes, listen, Turtle, I agreed with you calling 𝗺cie first was a letdown. Arguing over whether the reverse was at 1231 or 1232 feels like conceding the bigger point. Exactly. But then I started thinking that the defense may be laying groundwork to argue the reverse happened on her way home from 34 Fairview. How could a reverse happen on her way home? What a banger that would be to say she took a wrong turn on the way home. Yeah, so that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That's not going to happen. So thank you for the $25. That's not happening. Nick sends $25, goes, anyone saying Devers' testimony was bad for the defense is fucking retarded. Amen. Amen. There was nothing available to the defense in this trial which could have demonstrated in real time the corruption more than today. I'm with you. Plevin appeared to be halfway back to FKR, KP, and Kofikant getting pissed at him for being somewhat normal. Actually, I saw it. So I got to be honest with you. In court, I have it on silent, but I have various streams going, and I like to read the chats of various streams. And the only one that's like an anti-camera read stream is, of course, Plevin's channel. And so I did see on there, he was like, this person is a cop. He said, can we actually see? I got to see Plevin. I got to see what he said for this. Let's go to it. Let's go to, I got to see this. All right. Oh, it's Dever. It's not Dever.
You're on the to seeing something in the Sally report relative to Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗺 and maybe Brian Higgins, but we'll see what it is. We shouldn't prejudge it until we actually see. She's obviously hostile, doesn't want to be up there, but she's being difficult. She's not answering the questions in a forthcoming way. I think to be fair about it.
She's there.
Yeah.
That's obvious. And would say
what?
Hello, Margaret.
Oh, good morning.
Who are these people?
Dispatch officer. By the way, you were sworn officer.
Yes.
That time, correct? Uniform, badge, gun, the whole works. Known and been familiar with Brian Higgins. Of that interview?
Yes, because I've never seen it before.
Just insofar as the date is concerned, they approach. Yes.
I got to hear Plevin's commentary.
I think I'm gonna wear these words out. What is the defense doing?
Well, we can't know because we don't know what she's going to say, so we shouldn't prejudge it. I'm sorry, my mic was down. We can't know, so we don't know what she's going to say, so we probably shouldn't prejudge it yet. She obviously was interviewed by the FBI. And this is obviously focused on the Sally report, and it's been and Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗺 is brought up, so we can maybe extract from that she's probably going to testify to seeing something in the Sally report relative to Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗺 and maybe Brian Higgins, but we'll see what it is. We shouldn't prejudge it until we actually see. She's obviously hostile, doesn't want to be up there, but she's being difficult. And good morning, Margaret. We'll see.
Kevin.
When she's saying she has no reason to be there, it's kind of obvious that the defense thinks she does, and Alan Jackson seems pretty confident that that's about to come out in a moment. So
I got to hear this.
We'll see.
Kevin wanted to answer that question to do with
because I don't know about FBI policy. You do. So defense has about this. It's not based on interviewing her because they never did. It's based on what they got last year from the federal materials.
Right.
Interview was correct. Or how would you put that, Jen?
Hold on. I want to hear Plevin rant about this. Does Plevin actually concede that this is bad? I got to hear this if he does.
Case we've seen this in any. I'm sorry.
You
know what really happened here? Did she see something unusual, or, I mean, to me, I think maybe what happened here is that she, like so many people in any famous case, we've seen this in any. I'm sure Margaret has seen this in the 𝗬𝗿𝗲𝗺 case. There's a tendency for people, including some police officers, to want to insert themselves into the narrative. I think maybe she did this here and regrets it because of the professional repercussions of it. But I don't know.
That or she made an early statement based on a loose recollection after pulling a long shift.
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was.
She said this a year and a half afterwards. She said to the grand jury in August of 2023. She got some rest. She wasn't dealing with the long shift after that. Like, this is how retarded you have to be associated with these people. Now, Krusty's just lying, and you know, whoever this guy on Xanax is, whatever that guy's name is, I think that's Matt Hurd. It's his real name. Brett's cousin. He's like, you know, he just says whatever Krusty says, and then Kof and Doofus same shit. It's like I don't know if any of them actually believe this shit.
Probably confronted with like a video or something, and it creates this false memory. And then later on, when she's presented with like Brian Higgins' movements in the Sally report and times, because that's all logged because of the key card, as well as Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗺, that she realized that it wasn't a true memory. I think the big thing here is though.
Imagine this, and they call us conspiracy theorists. They're like, oh, it wasn't a true memory. So she just testified under oath. She put her hand on a Bible, swore to tell the truth, and then told this very specific and somewhat complicated story and detailed story. And she just misremembered the whole thing.
That despite this factual information and her clarifying, right? They threatened to charge her with perjury. They tried to bully one of their witnesses into lying on the stand.
God.
Why would she say
or telling the truth? Like bullied one of their witnesses into lying.
She saw them there for a weirdly long time. That's a really specific.
Why
memory.
would she say that?
That's
yeah.
something that.
Yes.
And I'm not saying she remembers it.
Yes, Plevin.
I think she could have exaggerated it back then because of this desire to insert herself into the case.
Yes, Plevin.
I don't think she ever had any desire to insert herself into the case, anything that I know. Okay. And I know people that have had conversations with her. She doesn't want to be there. She never wanted to be there. The defense knew that that's what they, I don't think she ever did though. I don't think she ever did though. I think what it sounds like from what she's saying, and of course I'm also drawing on these other conversations that have occurred, is that she was confronted with something that creates sort of a false memory, right? Agrees to it. And then later on is confronted with factual information that makes that impossible, clarifies, wait, no, I don't remember that. That's not accurate. It can't be. And here's why. And then they're trying to bully her into lying on the stand.
Oh, right. Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Jackson. I think, you know.
No,
he's definitely coming across as a bully. And I understand what he's trying to do. But
he was confronted with information within this time period that
right here,
it was not true. She has never, ever, 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 ever wanted to be involved in this case. She has no involvement in this case. It was not her.
How can we know that? How can we know that at the early days?
How can we know that?
Yes, Plevin. Look, she left the Kent police to join the Boston police.
Go Plevin.
What I've heard is that she was disgruntled in her situation at the Kent police at the time. So that, that could create a motive there too. So I don't know. I don't know how we could know in those early days. There was a time when even the Boston police seemed to be much more open to the idea of a conspiracy. They're not now. So the circumstances in her work situation has changed. So for her to go up there and testify in a way that suggests there's a cover-up would make her personal life very uncomfortable. But that may have been different.
Yeah, that's a good point, Plev.
So I don't know.
Give it to him. Give it to him, Plevin.
I actually do believe there's some questions here.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. Otherwise, he wouldn't put her on the stand.
Yeah. But again, to what end is Jackson seeing us through to?
Oh, this is great.
I'm going to go to this idea of Higgins and
when we left off, I was asking you about the meeting at the commissioner's office.
I got to hear more Plevin. I've never heard based Plevin before. This is based Plevin.
It's never a positive when you call a witness that is accusing you of trying to prompt you to lie on the stand. So,
to charge you with perjury?
Yes.
You're a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Who charges people with crimes?
That's who pursues it in a court setting.
Sequestration order.
I don't know what that means.
That they keep mentioning.
We're on.
Careful not to.
You have to ask.
WD, I've never had a problem with you. You've been here a long time, but you really think you're going to tell the host of the channel to shut up? Just on another side, is that really what you guys want? You want me to just cheerlead everything?
Yes, like Plevin has finally realized that he has inadvertently created a mindless mob. This is his realization that, oh shit, maybe I'm leading a mindless mob. Because for the first time, he says something on his show that suggests that maybe the Commonwealth is this is a bad witness for the Commonwealth, and that maybe this conspiracy thing has wings. And the first time he says that, his own followers in the chat tell him to shut up. Stop telling us things that we don't want to hear. Only tell us things that we want to hear. This is his telling you. This is the moment the light bulb went off, and Plevin is like, oh shit, I created a mindless mob. Oh, fuck.
Everything on one side, because I'm not like that, and I'm not going to do that. I may be wrong, but I'm always going to give my opinion fair and objective. I'm not going to echo chamber. So that's why we have a diverse panel here that has different opinions on things.
Oh, yeah, it's real diverse. It's real diverse.
I'm not going to cheerlead one side.
It's real diverse.
I'm sure there's other channels you can go to for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's impossible not to think that there's not a problem here when this witness tells FBI agents that she remembers seeing the chief and Higgins in the Sally Port for a weirdly long time.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be false because it turns out she wasn't there at the same time that Alexis was there, so she couldn't have seen that. But it's impossible not to at least say that that's not a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem, Plevin.
It's not being objective about this witness.
Yeah.
So whether it's a false memory or something else was going on, you can't just ignore it.
True.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have Jen in. Sorry, Jen, I didn't realize I didn't have you in.
Oh, no problem. So I had a hit over on channel, so I missed the last part of the.
I know. That was I to think.
But you could see at least twice.
Chief Ken 𝗵𝗂𝗧.
All right, so that's enough Plevin. Okay, cool. All right, next up for Turtle. That was worth it though. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Nick, for that. Nicole sends $10, goes, just a little something for our crime boss. They're just jealous of the intimidator. Sorry that our daddy is blessed. Nice. FKR. Hashtag free daddy. Yes. Free dad. The intimidator is that's the real problem. Again, we don't need to go there. This is a kid's show. This is a family show rather. So thank you, Nicole. Leslie sends $25, goes, what a day. Good to see you in the courtroom. Love you. Deavergate. Is it Deaver or Dever? I thought it was Dever, like Raffy Devers. No, it's Dever. I don't even fucking know. But Alan Jackson does this all the time. By the way, that's on purpose. He's doing that. There's no doubt about it. He did it to Bukaki. He kept calling him Buchanan. He does it on purpose. Like he did it to Greg Henning. He always like pretends he doesn't remember your name too, just to remind you that you're not important at all to him. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for that one, Leslie. And hopefully I'm back in the courtroom tomorrow. I'm getting my kids on the bus tomorrow. The bus gets there like 8:28. And so I'm going to get in the car and drive right to Dedham. I have till 10 o'clock to get there. And it's like an hour away, but the morning commute can be a little bit, whatever. So I'll get there. I'll get this. So thank you for that one, Leslie. Ace Ventura sends $5, goes, Dever, Einhorn and Dever. Think. That's it. Dever is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Okay. You're saying she looks like a man. Okay. I see what you're saying. Thank you. Dever's IUD sends $10. It goes, I wish I could forget getting put in this nasty cunt. It's pretty awful in here. Oh God. Dever's IUD. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. Thank you. Let's see what else we have here. Lena sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, I've been looking forward to this all day. Keep up the hard work. We're all behind you. God bless you, doctor, and fuck Jen McCabe and Kelly Krusty Dever. I'm with you on that one, Lena. Kelly sends $50. Thanks, Kelly, and says, please read this in the Mark Wahlberg voice. Yeah, the commissioner just wanted to do. Yeah, the commissioner just wanted me to do what's right and wish me good luck and give me some support. Please, what bullshit. This is a stupid message. Roast away. No, it's not that stupid. Thank you for the $50, Kelly. Nice, short, sweet, and simple. Hank's 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 sends $10 and says, I'm thinking if the defense doesn't call Proctor, they will hopefully be calling the prodigal sister to elicit the hopefully she kills herself texts. Do you think she'll bring her tuba for show and tell free Karen Reed? You know, I think we're going to be sorely disappointed about a lot of shit that's going to come into this. I don't even know if we're going to hear the butt dials in this trial. At this point, I don't see how the butt dials come in. I just don't. I think it's a problem. They're just not going with the conspiracy route. They're just not going with it. Which is what we, urge them to do, but like they're not mentioning it at all. And it's funny because Kelly Dever, whatever, mentioned it today. And, she mentioned like until this conspiracy came about and the jurors must have been asking themselves, what conspiracy? What are you talking about? Like, are we even going to get like, tell him the man never came in the house? Like tell him all this? Like, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. So we'll see. New Hampshire girl sends $10 and goes, I think you said you had a meal of food, some food with Annie Elise. I did. I met the Glairer and Annie Elise, and we had a meal of food at the Lincoln. It was what is she like? She's cool. I talked to her about her professional career, how she got to where she was. She's nice. She's cool. I've been a big fan for years. She does tours. She does, really. Maybe she'd have you on as a guest speaker to discuss the KR case. Okay, roast away. No, that was a good one. I like that one. Thank you, New Hampshire girl. I don't know if she has guests, though. I don't know if she does that. She doesn't have a live stream, so it's kind of the difference. Steph sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, can you please wish my husband, Dustin, a happy birthday? He is 47 years old today. Yes, happy birthday, Dustin. And Mimi, it's also her birthday today. She organized one of the fundraisers for Karen Reed. I saw her today. She was in court. And so absolutely, but not to take away from Dustin, who's a big 47 today. Thank you very much, sir. Anna sends $10, goes, we need more turtle boys fighting against the corruption. Please say hello to Tim, my husband of 28 years. After going on 3 dates, LOL, still the love of my life. 3 dates, huh? Not too shabby. In 28 years, good for you. Good for him. Nice to hear that. The turtle sends $10, goes, good evening, Unc. I would like nothing more than to shit on Kelly Dever's chest. Yikes. But I know if I did, she would just fucking lie about it. Okay. Thank you. Kelly Devers, false memories, sends $10. It goes, if you think about it, everything we thought was going to happen in the first trial did not. No 𝗪𝗏 slam dunk, no love for 𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, no easy acquittal. If you're feeling nervous because you're thinking we're heading towards a conviction or another mistrial, relax. We don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Our hunches can't be trusted. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think we'll be fine. I thought it was more of a slam dunk last time, but it turns out I was wrong. So maybe I'll be wrong in the other direction this time. It's better to be, not to be cocky, and, everything will work out. Everything's going to be fine. They can't, like I said, if they can convict her, they can convict anyone of anything. We should all be very scared, because they can convict anyone of anything. So thank you. Ghosted Mr. Higgins sends $20. Goes, hey Doc, thanks for the trial coverage. I can't tell everyone outside the courthouse what to do, but my opinion, every sign should be about the FBI hiring 𝗪𝗏. Well, you can't have those in the buffer zone, I'm sure. Pound that shit. Also, give my hello to Meredith. Haha. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ghosted Mr. Higgins. Devers dying career sends $10. Goes, pull up, Dr. Daddy. Would you please do the Brian Albert Jr. voice for my birthday? Does he have one? Oh, Auntie JJ. It's my birthday, and on my birthday, Auntie Julie brings me my favorite donuts over, and then Auntie JJ comes over, and we eat donuts too. And I'm like 6'7", 280 pounds, and like, why doesn't anyone think I did it? I'm like huge. Like, hello, biggest dude in the house. No one thinks I killed John O'Keefe. Oh, I'm telling Auntie JJ. Okay, thank you very much for that one. Yeah, Deb, who sent that one? That was from Devers dying career. Thank you. And happy birthday, Devers dying career. Deb's spaceman Irwin sends $10. Goes, hey Doc, cannot believe this craziness. I just don't think it's going well for Karen Reed, especially after today. I disagree. Karen Reed must be super stressed. Anyway, I'm flying to Boston from the United Kingdom on Wednesday, and I'm going to head down to the buffer zone to say hi next Wednesday. When's good? Daytimes. Again, I get there at 8, whatever, and stay the day. Stay as long as you want. That's what I'd recommend. So thank you, and great to see some Brits there. Nice to hear. Okay, next up, Malden's Riza Ianino sends $5 and says, what's up, Timothy Kearney? Any chance you'll do a show wearing a leather jacket with a background of the woods behind you? I'm sick of seeing that monster house. Maybe someday. Maybe someday in the winter. We'll see. Okay, let me read a couple cash apps here. Okay. Catherine sends $20 and goes, LOL about you rattling John D. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's all mad about that. And he said I had a panic attack. Like, bro, chill out. Jen sends $10 and goes, Turtle Twins from California, love you. Well, I love my turtle twins in California. Thank you. Brian sends $5, goes, need more Alan Jackson and less Alessi. I disagree with that. Freak Aaron. I think they're both great, but obviously he's very good at the technical stuff, and I think he's doing a great job thus far with Dr. Marie Russell. Okay, all right. I will refresh the rest later, and we'll read them. I want to get started on some content again. If you want your messages read, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. Pay whatever you want. Write your message. I'll read it out loud, or you can cash at me at $Uncle_Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Okay. All right. All right. So anyway, so we're up to, let's see. All right. Let's just jump. Oh, and we also need tonight to watch we got to watch some NBC. We got to talk about this crazy Asian judge here. He's fucking nuts. Judge Lou. Oh my God. We got to talk about this guy. He is fucking bonkers, this guy. And they're putting him on TV. And he was, if you thought he was crazy on Twitter, wait till you see him on TV. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with Dever, whatever. We're going to start with her. And then we're going to jump into, after that, then we'll do the texts and then some Dr. Russell. But I want to start with her because she stole the show today, didn't she, folks?
Kelly Dever, last name
Dever. Okay, so it is Dever. You guys were lying to me. It's Dever. Get it right.
V-E-R.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
Where are you employed?
Boston Police.
How long have you been so employed with the Boston Police Department?
2 years and a little over 2 months.
Where'd you work before that?
I worked for the Canton Police.
Were you a sworn officer at that time?
At what time? When I was employed there?
When you were employed by the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I was.
As a sworn police officer?
Yes.
Okay. What was your duty assignment in January of 2022?
I was a patrol officer.
You're familiar with the case that's presently before the bench, correct?
In some capacity, yes.
Commonwealth versus Kearney.
Yes.
All right. Did you ever prepare any kind of report based on any of your conduct or your connection with this case, if there was any connection with this case, by the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Let me finish the question. By any member of the Canton Police Department in furtherance of their investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Let me finish the question. I got to finish the question, then you can answer it. It works a little better that way. Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Massachusetts State Police in furtherance of their investigation into the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by either the Canton Police Department or the Massachusetts State Police with regard to any of your observations on January 28th or January 29th, 2022?
No.
And you never wrote a report about your observations or any observations that you had on January 28th or January 29th, 2022, correct?
No.
That was a double negative. Let me try that a different way. The first time you were ever interviewed in connection with anything having to do with this case or this investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe was by a separate law enforcement agency, not the Massachusetts State Police, not the Canton Police Department, correct?
Right.
Yes.
That was in August of 2023. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember the exact date?
No.
August 9th, 2023. Does that sound right? About right?
I know it was the summer of 2023.
Okay.
So
do you think it would refresh your recollection to take a look at the report of that interview?
yes, because I've never seen it before.
Just insofar as the date is concerned, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Take a look at the bottom of that page. Just glance at that and tell me once you familiarize yourself with that page of that report. Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Then, Officer Dever, to January 28th, 2022, where were you working? What was your duty assignment on that day, January 28th, moving into January 29th?
Well, 3.5 years later, I remember I was on patrol. I don't remember anything further about this night.
Did you work overnight, like a late shift going into the morning of January 29th?
That was my assigned shift, so yes.
Okay. Who else was working with you on that particular day, if you recall? Assignment when you went into work that night on January 28th?
Patrol.
Related to a person found in the...
Something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch.
Is that Sergeant Good?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch?
Yes, so I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place, so I was already at the station.
Did you know whether or not Sergeant Good and or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department?
Yes, that's why I went inside so he could respond.
Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you know who Brian Albert was at that time?
No.
Do you now?
Because of this case, yes.
I spoke over you, I'm so sorry. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name?
The name, yes.
Okay. Did you know Kevin Albert?
No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did.
Correct. How did you know Kevin Albert?
He was a detective for the Canton Police.
Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you were social friends. Asking if you knew who he was.
Yes.
How'd you know? How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Okay. Passing in the hallways, hi, bye, things like that.
Yes.
Sustained is deformed, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Did you know him by sight?
Yes.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you.
You wouldn't recognize him now?
Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who 𝗫𝗏𝗄𝗆 was?
Yes.
Who's 𝗫𝗏𝗄𝗆?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes. Chairs and computers.
Monitors?
Yes. But I don't know if they were on TVs or computers or where in dispatch they were. I don't
know. Security camera footage of Canton PD, correct?
The access. They were in the room somewhere. I can't be more specific. I don't remember.
But you do recall seeing that there were monitors that were showing different views of internal security camera footage of Canton PD, correct?
The specifics? No. Were there? Yes.
I don't know what you mean by specifics. I'm asking you, were there monitors that you could look at that showed security camera footage from inside Canton PD, different areas, hallways, corridors, offices, the Sally Port, for instance.
So 2.5 years since
you keep saying 2.5 years later.
So let her finish her answer and then ask the question.
Sure.
It's been years since I've been in that room. They were somewhere in the room. Where cameras were in the Canton Police Department, I don't recall. The media's provided me information since this case took place, and I can't speak on what's my recollection and what's been media provided. There are cameras. I don't know where on my memory where they are.
So has the media informed you that there were internal security monitors at the dispatch location?
So the objection is sustained. Next question.
What is the media?
From the dispatch room, as you put it. What do you recall being there in terms of monitors?
I remember there was a computer screen that had information about current calls, and then there was a 911 screen next to that. Those are the two computers that I would have been positioned in front of during this time.
As a dispatch officer, by the way, you were a sworn officer at that time, correct? Uniform, badge, gun, the whole works, right?
Yes.
Had you ever been in the Sally Port at Canton PD?
Yes.
What's the Sally Port?
A Sally Port is a garage, essentially.
Okay. You were aware that the Sally Port garage had a camera, a security camera?
It would make sense because that's where we bring prisoners to drop them off.
Oh,
Well,
why
does
is
it make sense? I'm
that?
asking you, do you recall that it had cameras that serviced the Sally Port garage?
It would make sense.
Security cameras.
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay,
Oh my God.
I'm asking you, were there cameras?
According to the media, yes. I've seen
According
the
to the
footage, so yes, there were
media.
cameras.
All right. So hold on. So I'm
According
going
to the
Strike
media.
Officer, you have to answer the question based on your own independent.
According to the media.
You don't have them tell us, but you
Oh, what
you
an
can't
attitude.
Reference what you know from the media.
Look at her.
All right.
All right.
There were cameras in the Sally Port.
Thank you.
Yes. Like, what a bad, like, according to the, you worked there. You saw the videos. Of course there was, the answer is yes. Why fight the little shit?
Ms. Dever, do you want to be here today?
I have no relation to this case, so
I have no relation to this
Objection.
case.
This isn't direct.
So it's your witness.
I understand.
She can, no comments, just questions. Not, I understand that.
Do you want to be here today now?
I'm put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
I don't know why I'm here. You're about to find out. I have no connection to this case. What are you talking about?
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior to the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
No clue whatsoever. As you sit here, why you might have calls and stand.
No.
Are you uncomfortable testifying?
No, it's part of my job.
You're a professional police officer, correct?
Correct.
That means you're a professional witness to it, correct?
In the crimes that I've gone on the stand before, yes, I have been.
And you understand the oath?
Yes, I do.
What is that oath?
The oath is to tell the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase it. Is it word that oath when you raise right now as a witness?
I'm objecting.
So when you see it, sidebar for just
Sure.
Oh boy. So sidebar, sidebar, sidebar. Comes back.
Thank you. So the footage from one of the cameras, one of the monitors that you had access to back on January 29th did show the footage from, or did it show the footage from that, one of the other Sally Port garage cameras?
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure, it was a little bit clunky on my part. Did one of the monitors that you looked at, that you had access to at the dispatch area, did it show the video footage or the video feed from the Sally Port garage?
Yes.
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch the screen with the cameras was. There was a camera in the Sally Port. So if I'm going to make the assumption, then yes, of course. But now that's an assumption.
I'm not asking you for an assumption now. I'm asking you, did one of the feeds, now we're talking about the camera, the other side of the camera is the feed. Do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in the dispatch area that showed the Sally Port?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. I'm going to go with
So
you.
I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Look at her. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What time about did you take over the dispatch desk that morning?
Immediately following when the 911 call came in.
Would have been 6-ish in the morning. Does that sound about right?
Sometime I would say towards the later of my shift, but it was the middle of winter and dark out. So I don't know if it was 4, 5, 6.
Understood. But it was still dark out.
Yes.
Once you took over the dispatch desk, did you stay there even past your normal shift ending to support the investigation that was ongoing?
Not to support the investigation. I was just on overtime.
Okay. So you stayed past your normal end time of your shift that day?
Hey, what day was this?
Yes, on overtime.
Past your normal.
Sometime I was immediately following when the 911 call came in.
Would have been 6-ish in the morning. Does that sound about right?
That's when she got there?
What time about did you take over the dispatch desk?
Okay, that's kind of
to support the investigation that was ongoing.
Not to support the investigation. I was just on overtime.
Okay. So you stayed past your normal end time of your shift that day?
Yes, on overtime.
You stayed into the afternoon, correct?
I believe the shift ended at 3:45 p.m. for the Canton Police.
But you stayed past your ending shift time, correct? I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it. Did you stay past your ending shift time?
For my regular shift, yes, because I was on overtime on the day shift.
Did you observe anything unusual that stood out in your mind that occurred, pardon me, in the Sally Port while you were on that shift?
So I'm just going to stop here because this is a little confusing, and maybe the chat can help me out with this. So she stayed on past. So what shift was she working? Can the chat help me out with this? What kind of shift ends at 3:45? So on January 28th, she was working till 3:45 a.m. Is that what she's saying, or p.m.? She worked overnight 7 to 3. Oh, okay. So why was she there at 6 a.m.? Why was she there at 6 a.m.? Look at that face. Look at that face. So she was working the 9 to arrival time is 15 minutes early. Can I get an answer? She worked 11 to 7. What are you guys talking about? She worked the night shift and asked. Hold on. She worked the night shift 11 to 7 a.m. and stayed on from 7 a.m. Okay, to 3:44. Okay, gotcha. 3:45. Gotcha. That's okay. Thank you, chat. All right, we're good.
So we've discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was not a memory, that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. I cannot make that statement that you're wanting me to make on the stand because I've advised
that you wanted me to make on the stand?
Ms. Dever, I've never asked you to make a statement one way or the other on the stand. I'm asking you an open-ended question.
Okay,
Did
so
you?
prior
Let
to
me
the
ask the question. Did you observe something in the Sallyport garage on January 29th, 2022 that you found unusual, that stuck out in your mind?
Given factual information that makes it so I know I did not. No.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
This is
You
just
remember being
wild.
interviewed on August 9th, 2023.
This is wild.
I do.
That was by a separate law enforcement agency.
Separate law
correct?
enforcement
Yes.
agency.
Two separate law enforcement agents. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were advised during the course of that interview on August 29th of something, correct?
Can you rephrase
I'm sorry,
that?
August 9th.
So what was I advised of? Can you rephrase that?
Sure. Were you advised that lying to those officers would be a crime?
So it was a willing conversation. I've spoken with their legal team. Because of the fact I was providing factual information that showed a statement of mine was a false memory, it was not a lie. Therefore, I made it in good faith, and I retracted given information that it could not be accurate.
Ms. Dever, did you understand my question?
Yes, I did. You threatened to charge me with perjury during our phone call prior to the first trial if I didn't lie on the stand right now. I'm telling you, I did not see anything. Factually, I've been provided evidence by a timeline that it is not correct.
Ms. Dever, my question is this. Were you advised it was a crime to lie to those law enforcement agents? Yes or no?
No.
They never told you, they never admonished you that it would be a crime to lie to them?
Objection sustained. As to form, Mr. Jackson.
Sure. Did they advise you of anything? Any consequences of lying to them?
So we had a willing conversation.
Yes or no?
So, like, what could the jury be assuming these law enforcement agencies are, if not the FBI? You know, I did think about this too. I'm like, well, even if they did know it was the FBI, would the jury even understand what the fuck's going on? Like, wouldn't they just be inclined to think? I don't think if the jury figures out it's the FBI, it's the slam dunk we think it is, because wouldn't the jury be thinking that the FBI was also investigating Karen Reed because a cop is dead? Like, wouldn't that be? I mean, I think that's a little bit more believable than the truth, which is that the FBI was investigating the investigation itself, because she does say FBI later. right? We know that, but like, I'm not convinced that like the jury finding out about the FBI's involvement would necessarily be the slam dunk that we think it is. You know, I don't know. I just remember Ronnie and them seemed to have no fucking clue about the FBI, none. And Ryan Nagel mentioned the feds accidentally. You know, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't recall.
Okay, there's your answer.
I don't
You don't recall Dave Elijah anything?
No, because it wasn't.
As a trained law enforcement agent.
Go ahead and ask a question, but both of you only one at a time, okay?
As a trained law enforcement officer, are you aware that it's a crime to lie to certain other law enforcement agents?
When you have intent to lie, yes.
Okay. So you knew that when you spoke to these law enforcement officers, correct?
Yes.
Did you tell these law enforcement officers that you, in fact, saw Brian Higgins and Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗧 go into the Sallyport with the SUV? May I finish my question?
You can finish this question. Go ahead.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗧 go into the Sallyport together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that was what I recollected.
Okay.
A wildly long time. So just to review here. August 9th, 2023. That was in the middle of the federal grand jury. I'm going to say the day of the week of that. I'm pretty sure they do federal grand juries at Uncle Joe's house on Thursdays. Let's see what day of the week that was. August 9th, 2023, day of the week. It was a Wednesday. Okay. Well, I remember that day because that was like the day after I published the 𝗪𝗏𝗏 Loughran story. This is like right in the middle. They had good FBI shit. I'd published the 𝗪𝗏𝗏 Loughran story right around then. This was like FBI was heavy back then. And so they're dragging her in there. How the fuck are they dragging her? Why her? She was no longer with Canton Police. But again, she was on the dispatch that morning. And I think she said 32 Fairview Road instead of 34 Fairview Road on the dispatch. But yeah, they called her out. And they wanted to talk to her. And she told them that she saw Higgins and 𝗵𝗂𝗧. What a bombshell this is it not? I got to hear this one more time.
With the SUV, that it's a crime to lie to certain other law enforcement agents.
One more time.
When you have intent to lie, yes.
Okay. So you knew that when you spoke to these law enforcement officers, correct?
Yes.
Did you tell these law enforcement officers that you, in fact, saw Brian Higgins and Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗧 go into the Sallyport with the SUV? May I finish my question?
You can finish this question. Go ahead.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗧 go into the Sallyport together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
Now, for a wildly long time. How specific? How specific, dude? I'm like, what a mind fuck this was. She saw Higgins and 𝗵𝗂𝗧 go into their garage with the SUV for a mildly long time. A wildly long time, not mildly, wildly. That's even more worse. That's worse than mildly. That's real bad. Wildly. So, but she says she was mistaken. That is a very detailed and specific thing to be just completely mistaken about. And you told the feds this? Why? This was a year and a half afterwards. First of all, maybe the chat can help me out this one too. Did she say that she witnessed this, that she saw them in the actual garage, or that she saw them on video in the garage? Because that's a big difference. If she saw them on video, then she wouldn't have to be there at that time. She could have watched the video at any time. If she said in person, and she's right, she would have to be there. It was so she saw it on video. There you go. There you go. She saw it on video. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be there at 5:30 then for that to happen. Boy. Where was Higgins at 5:30? What time did Higgins get there? I don't know. That's wild, man. So they got Proctor on video right hanging out at that tailgate for a while, that the ghost man leaving 20 seconds later and at 5:37. And then you got her saying that she witnessed 𝗵𝗵𝗃 and Higgins, playing grab ass in the Sallyport while the car was there. Why would she just, that's not a small detail that you just got messed up. That's like a whole ass story, dude. That's like a whole ass story. How the fuck do you get, that's not a mistake. And then she changes her story.
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay.
At the time.
Did you indicate that you noted? I'm gonna have just a moment, Your Honor. And when we spoke on this call last year, you and I spoke.
I like that.
Along with Mr. Unetti
and
Ms. Little on a conference call last year sometime. You remember that?
Yes.
Between the time that you were interviewed on August 9th, 2023, and when we spoke sometime in maybe it was April or so of last year, does that sound about right?
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with any other party about your potential involvement in this case?
No.
Did you have a conversation with anybody in the commissioner's office at Boston Police Department?
Not about anything malicious.
Malicious?
Why do you say malicious?
Didn't somebody else introduce that? Was that nefarious? Was that 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃? They're very defensive, though. There's nothing malicious about that. Who said it was malicious? Just asking some questions here, young lady.
I had a conversation, but it was my department saying, regardless of what I need to say on the stand, they support me.
You were asked to go to the commissioner's office, correct?
Yes.
How long had you been on the Boston Police Department at the time that you were invited to go up to the Commissioner Michael Cox's office?
It had to have been before the first trial. So, and I know it was when the agency released information to outside people.
That's not my question.
Okay, so I don't recall.
Okay. You don't recall how long you had been on the force, generally, at the time that you were called up to the Commissioner's office, on the Boston Police Department?
No.
Was it 5 years, 2 years, 2 months? Give me a ballpark.
So I've been on the department for 2 years and 2 months. I would say somewhere in the range of a year.
Okay. Did you find it unusual would you call yourself a rookie back then?
Yes.
Did you find it unusual that a rookie police officer would be called up to the commissioner's office personally to discuss that?
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is. It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
So
it's a reflection on how good of a leader Commissioner Cox is. He's such a good leader that he called her up. So this brand, and this is the part that talk about shady. So the Boston Police Commissioner, Michael Cox, who is allegedly like a reformer because he got the shit kicked out of him when he was a younger cop or something like that, and it was race related or something like that. And, he's clean this mess up over here. No more corruption in the Boston Police Department. The good old days are over. And so he invites her up there to wish her good luck and say, we got your back with this testimony in this case. Why is he talking to her at all about this? Why? What does this have to do with him at all? Seriously. I understand it's especially considering it was one of his officers who was the victim in this. And you're calling a witness up to give him a pep talk before dude, think of how intimidating that is to be her, even to be called up there by this guy and to be told, like, okay, so I heard you testifying, so do what's right. We know what that means.
So I'm guessing all of your training class, or all of your entry classes, possibly they've all gone up to the commissioner's office as well?
I don't know anyone else who's been in this particular circumstance.
Do you know anybody else who's been called up to a commissioner's office at your level at the Boston Police Department?
Objection.
Assisting.
Do you know any of your colleagues with your level of experience that have been called up to the commissioner's office for specific incidents?
Objection.
That's assisting.
Now, when you went up to the commissioner's office, did you respond to his indication he wanted to see you up in his office?
It wasn't a direct line of contact from him.
Okay. Did you respond? Did you ultimately go? That's what I mean by respond. Did you go to his office?
He's my boss, so yes.
Okay. And who else was in that office?
Me and him. The two of us.
General counsel, the Boston Police Department?
No, it's just me and him.
No.
The conversation we had last year, did you say that general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department was also there?
Objection.
Not during that conversation. We.
Objection.
Next.
Who the fuck meets with the commissioner? What kind of cop gets a call from the commissioner, says, meet in my office, and doesn't ask for a union representative to come with them? That would be the first thing I would do if I was her. I'd be like, well, I'm paying all these union dues and you're the boss. So I would never even consider meeting with the commissioner without union representation like there. And he would also be smart to have another witness there with him, especially because she's a female. Like, I'm sorry, you need, this is 2020, whatever. Like, you should be cognizant of the power dynamics here, the fact that you're a man and she's a young woman. Like, you should, he should definitely have had a witness there, somebody with him, and she should have had union representation there. This whole thing sounds fucking shady. Shady.
Next question.
Sure. Was there another time that you went to the commissioner's office where general legal counsel was there?
No.
Have you ever met general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Was it in the commissioner's office?
No.
When was it?
During my conversation with the agents.
You took a lawyer with you to talk to this other law enforcement agency?
I'm going to see you at 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗺.
So she did bring it. Did she
during my conversation with the agents.
The agents? Whoa.
General legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Was it in the commissioner's office?
No.
When was it?
During my conversation with the agents.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The department was also there?
Objection.
Not during that conversation. We.
Objection.
Next question.
Sure. Was there another time that you went to the commissioner's office where general legal counsel was there?
No.
Have you ever met general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Was it in the commissioner's office?
No.
When was it?
During my conversation with the agents.
The
You took a
agents.
lawyer with you to talk to this other law enforcement agency?
I'm going to see you at 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗺.
I hate how we have to pretend like the FBI just doesn't exist. Oh, there I am, back in court, back where I belong. I used the Jess Machado. See, I was keeping it warm for her. She was having a tough day, coughing up. And by the way, Jackie Dugal was there. Oh my God, she is like such a cunt. That's Jackie Dugal right there. If you're unfamiliar with her, I escort her and her husband Carl, who wears assless chaps, to his he's a Boston police detective. I escort them to the car during the early hearings. And Jackie Dugal, you got to see this if you're new here. This is Canton Cover Up part 233. Check this out real quick. Little tangent here about Jackie Dugal. She's like deranged. She's evil. There's Jackie right there. I first met Jack. This is her. She's such a mean girl. This is outside of a Karen Reed hearing, May 24th, 2023. There's Jackie and her stupid husband, Carl.
Supporting Karen. She didn't do it.
That's so they yelled at, I guess they don't have the part there where they yell at Karen about why didn't you come out? Why did you say this or something like that? I forget. Anyway, so actually, was this the second one? Oh, here's the first one. Actually, I'm pull this one up. This is the one I'm looking for. No, wrong one. This one. There's Jackie. There she is. Okay.
Okay.
So,
This is the good old days. This is the good old days where we could protest. This is before buffer zones existed. This is July of 2023. Before this is the first protest we held on the courthouse stairs. They don't let us on the stairs anymore. This is why the stairs are blocked off, because of this protest. But I saw Carl coming in and we booed him. as we should. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shame on you. 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 Disgraceful.
Dude, I was sweating. This is July 25th. That's all sweat. That's all
You're
sweat.
not aware who that loser is. That's the
All right, so this is the old day. That's the good old days. All right. Anyway, and then he yelled at. Yeah, this is them. So this is why I didn't like them, is because on May 24th, Carl and Jackie yelled at Karen when she was on the courthouse stairs about, like, why'd you say you hit him? And Alan Jackson's like, she never said that. And then I didn't know who they were, so I followed them to their car and asked them questions. And this is right here is John O'Keefe's ex-girlfriend Lindsay is standing right here, and she says something. You like your 15 minutes of fame, Lindsay? She says that.
Name Hollins.
Hollins.
No, I'm supporting Karen. She didn't do it.
15 minutes of fame, huh, Linz? Shut up. Yeah, she's just a mean girl. Anyway, she runs like this, like, fit mom thing, whatever. But there was this account. Oh, Henry Blue. Oh, this is the one they accused of being Karen. So there was this account called All a Movie 2490. And it said Lauren JP. It says cowards with victim complexes. Okay, so it just shit on people because they caused an accident, dopey, and why is this slag at everyone that day? You can't send the same 50-year-old 7-Eleven clerk to 3 different spots, then right, protests are happening all over. She's so mad. And then my experience with that phony baloney Facebook page being run by Karen Reed. Oh, so being run by Karen Reed. So she messaged Amy DeAngelis and says, hi, Amy. I know you are an admin on the Justice for John and Karen page. And I had tried to post a question about Brian Higgins and the text messages. I was wondering if there was a mistake because it had been touched upon before to an extent. Thank you. I'm concerned about the posts you made in the past. Understood. I was asking because of the rumors floating of the 50 pages of texts, and there has not been much said regarding Higgins. I didn't know if anyone knew more, confused about the posts. So she pretended to be a Karen Reed supporter who is like, oh, I'm just posting about the Higgins text messages, which weren't really popular back then. Nobody really knew about those, but she wanted those out there to smear Karen's name. And Amy DeAngelis has gone to the dark side. I did a show on her a while ago. She's in the Karen Reed's guilty camp now because she got mad at me like all the other mentally unbalanced women. But yeah, here she is shitting on attorney Brian Barrera, saying, write a complaint, you strip mall lawyer, making fun of other women in the movement. AIDS, I think that's me. Where do you go to work? The basement, grifting off people's misery. I would call you a stay-at-home dad, but you're a poor excuse for a father as well. Wow. And then antiquated rogue Joe Warren comes to Karen Reed's defense and says she's much prettier than you. Oh, antiquated rogue. And then she posts me. Oh, there's the cum face. I see the cum face there. And says, what can I do to be taken seriously by terror writers? I need this. Okay. And so she's just mocking people. What's this one? When Dr. Turtleboy is arrested, she said it when he's arrested. She said this on January 29th. And they knew by then I was going to be arrested. When Turtleboy's arrested, will he call his boss Karen Reed for bail money? No, actually, it was personal recognizance. I didn't need that. I'm good. Is Nathaniel okay? Poor little used car salesman. Here's a bad word. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have to poop. Real mature. Okay. Did Karen Reed have an ex? Any exes who lived? Where are they? And what do they have to say? That's a great question, Jackie. How come we never hear from these people if they're all like Karen Reed's such a, a horrible person? How come we don't never hear from the ex-boyfriends? Crazy ones. She was giving a press conference, answering questions, and the guy asked one. He was friends with her and John O'Keefe. She's a big girl doing national interviews. Why didn't she answer one? I want to know. Okay. Is he in court or pledging a fraternity? How did it go, big guy? So this account, all a movie would just troll me. Daddy is not ready for Superior Court. Oh, I am. She's a monster, just like Kearney, tripping over herself to support a cop killing drunk. Yikes. Wow. Imagine being like this, I don't know, 60 and having multiple Twitter accounts to try and bully those of us who want justice. Yeah, imagine using a fake Twitter account. That would be so embarrassing. And then she would tweet at Sean of the Gulf. Right? Soccer mom McCabe is the Grim Reaper, apparently, because the defense attorney and Karen Reed lied to you. Remember, Sean, Aidan and you, not that you are using your real name. What? Anyway, it would just constantly tweet nasty shit about Karen Reed. Constantly. I mean, it just went on and on. This account was vicious. All right. And this person actually sent a turtle rider by the name of Semolina a postcard, apparently. And long story short, check this out. So they ended up exposing themselves. Okay. And watch how she did it. So this all a movie account posts a video, but look on the bottom. Look what's on the bottom. Ready? Right there. There it is. And it's her ID. So again, she posts, well, this is what happens sometimes when you fuck around and you post like, if you don't crop your screenshots, your camera roll will sometimes appear on the bottom. And there's Jackie Dugal's license in her camera roll. So this is obviously her. There it is right there. That's her. Okay. And then she took the account. Is the account down? Is the All a Movie account down? Let's see. I don't know. Oh, here they are escorting them.
True that you got John's car painted after Karen Reed backed into it? Is that true, Carl? Are you part of the cover-up, Carl? We apologize for this scumbag coming by and get your car.
Okay.
Carl,
all right. All right. So anyway, so she gets caught. Jackie Dugal got caught, like undeniably. Like, bro, you put your you forgot to crop out your camera roll at the bottom there. And unless you have Jackie Dugal's license in your camera roll, for some reason, it's, you're busted. We got you. And then she goes and does this. She makes a post. She actually made this post. It says on her real account that says, I want to make it known that the Twitter account recently circulated is not and never was me. Right. The case has brought out the very worst in people on both sides. On both, the blaming, shaming, and bullying is inappropriate. Those words and actions are not mine. Oh, right. Right. Totally not her. Totally not her. So again, she's in court now and she's just she makes these like, she was looking at me today during the Kelly Dever shit. And she was like, you like that, huh? Things aren't going well. I'm like, bitch, we listen to the same testimony. She just said she told the FBI that Higgins and Berkowitz were alone with Karen's car for a wildly long period of time. So anyway, there's Jackie right there. She's sitting in the timeout corner with Paul.
And I'm may I continue, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Deborah, when we left off, I was asking you about the meeting at the commissioner's office. And I want to clear this up. Was general legal counsel in that office or not when you had a meeting with the commissioner, Michael Cox?
No, it was just me and the commissioner.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Austin Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Austin Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct quote 2 years ago.
A year ago, when you talked to us, the defense, did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, he told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Deaver, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever, and
that's my mistake. Let's see, let me repeat the question
So, Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer, please.
yes, and he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or the
I asked you
other.
what his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
Look at it. Look
That
at
he
it.
supports me.
And?
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
And his words were, do the right thing, correct?
I don't recall.
But she doesn't say no. I don't. Yes, she did. Like, where did he come up with that then? If the answer was no, she would say that. That's clearly what he said was do the right thing and tell the truth. And I'd like to point out that I was literally indicted for the same shit. Again, maybe I can bring it up here. Maybe I can bring up my motion to dismiss, which was half denied, half allowed. Let's see. We got it. Hold on. Let's see if we have it. Hold on. I'll find it. I got to bring this up. I got to see my motion to dismiss because I find this very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's pull it up. I want to pull this up. Let's search truth. All right, look at this. So check this out. This is the motion to dismiss. This is what Judge Doolin says in it. Again, moreover, as discussed, the Commonwealth has a compelling government interest in assuring the administration of justice is fair and orderly. Section 13B is narrowly tailored to achieve that interest. Kearney's broadcast, phone calls, voicemails, and unexpected visits to witnesses' homes, businesses, and meetings reflect a pattern of conduct done with the intent to influence and interfere with the Reed case. Why? In many of his protests and broadcasts, Kearney urges witnesses to what? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. It would be reasonable for a fact finder to conclude that he is simply urging the witnesses to tell his version of the truth. And such speech can be found to influence a witness. That's what it says right there. Right there in my own motion to dismiss, denial. A judge found that if I tell a witness to tell the truth, that I am committing witness intimidation. That's what it says right there. That's what I was told. And urging them to do the right thing, which is what I did at the rolling rally. I said, Pete, you guys should do the right thing and tell the truth. that's witness intimidation because they can infer that what I really meant, this is what was really going on in my head, was I was urging people to tell the truth, my version of the truth. Well, what happens? What did BPD Commissioner Michael Cox do? He invites 𝗪𝗏 up to his office. And unlike the relationship between me and Julie Nagel, Julie Nagel doesn't work for me. There's no power dynamic there. We're just two people, right? I'm an award-winning journalist. She is, a human Cabbage Patch doll. But we're both people, kind of. And whereas Michael Cox is he's as big as it gets in the Boston Police Department. Big Cox. Doesn't get much bigger than that. And she is a rookie. And so this guy with an extreme power control over this woman invites her up to his office and says, do the right thing. I know you'll do the right thing. Just tell the truth. And after that is when the story she told the FBI changes. And it doesn't just change a little. It changes to that it never happened at all. This complex story about Higgins and Berkowitz being alone with the car for a wildly long period of time. That's a pretty specific thing. It didn't change from, there was a wildly long period of time to maybe a short period of time. That would be a small change. Or that, I don't know, that someone else was in the garage with them. Or that was before the car got there or something like that. Some detail. Instead, it's just the whole thing never happened. The entire fucking thing just didn't happen, but it didn't happen after she spoke with Michael Cox, who told her to tell the truth. If I'm charged with felony witness intimidation, how is Michael Cox? It's the same trial. It's the same witnesses. It's the witnesses in the same trial. Like, how is that not felony witness intimidation? If mine is, you tell me, because it's not. I don't think what he did is witness intimidation, and what I did isn't witness intimidation. That's the truth of the matter.
How many other times have you testified in a court of law during the course of your job?
2 dozen, 3 dozen. And actually testified probably ballpark a dozen times.
In any of those other cases, has Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony in any of those cases? Yes or no?
Got a point.
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Deborah.
So no comments, okay? Just.
You understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication?
The question is, in any of those, I'm asking you an open-ended question. In any of those cases, Officer Deborah, not including this one.
Officer Deborah.
Was Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony?
No.
Thank you.
Correct.
All right, Mr. Brennan.
So then Brennan comes in and tries to rehabilitate her.
Good morning, sir.
My name's Hank Brennan. We have never met before.
Correct.
Have you ever spoken to me before?
No.
Thank God.
The defense team, Attorney Jackson, asked you some questions this morning?
Yes.
It sounds like you've met them before.
Only by phone call.
How many times have you spoken to Attorney Jackson or anybody on the defense team before today?
Prior to the first trial, it was one phone call where we discussed the case. Outside of that, there may have been one other phone call before the first trial, but it wasn't a discussion of the case. And then prior to this trial, I received a phone call that said, confirm you will be available for one of these days.
Other than confirming you'd be available, was there any discussion before this trial with anybody on the defense?
Not about this case, no.
So the conversation, the substantive conversation was before the past event last year?
Yes, a year and a few months ago.
You worked at the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I did.
You were a police officer. That night, did you have any difficulty with your memory of the specific things that you saw that night?
I was never on the scene. I never spoke to a witness. I never met a victim.
Did law enforcement, not the state police or Canton Police, did law enforcement ask you about your memory sometime after that night?
The agents asked me
The agents.
About a year and a half later, it was the August of 2023 meeting. So actually a year and 8 months later was the first time I ever spoke about this case.
When they spoke to you a year and 8 months later, did you suggest or share or tell them that you might have seen Chief Berkowitz and Mr. Higgins in the Sally Port area?
I told them on the day of that I saw that. I didn't make any indications there was anything bad. I just said I saw them. And it was in good faith that I believed I saw that. That was the extent of that comment.
You did see them there, dear. You did see them there. That did happen. You saw them there. That was not a thing. And it's interesting that I asked myself why. So they had this conversation with her before the trial last year. Why didn't they call her as a witness? Why? And I just think this trial, they're going heavy on Higgins. Last trial was heavy on Colin Albert and Brian Albert. This one's heavy on Higgins, that they like this version of Higgins. They have like a Matthew Farwell vibe to him going on with the hoodie on, surveillance video, acting shady. And they're like, oh, he was in the garage too? What, 𝗵𝗫𝗄? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
You had told them you believe you saw Mr. Berkowitz and Mr. Higgins in the Sally Port area that day.
On January 29th during my day shift, yes.
Did you then learn any information that helped you remember when your shift ended that day?
So I know my shift ended at 3:45 p.m. So I know that I left then. That wasn't ever one of my questions. The defense released a timeline right prior to the first trial that the vehicle on that day did not arrive in the Sally Port until about an hour and a half after I left, meaning it is not possible that I saw that.
When you saw this information, did you think about your memory?
So when I saw that information,
it's not possible that I saw that. Why? But you could have seen it on video. And how do you know that you left at 3:45? How are you so sure that you left at 3:45 at that day? I mean, that day must have been chaotic, right? But you remember specifically what time you left. I mean, granted, it's a long fucking day. You're a 16-hour shift. How do you know you didn't stay till 6? Did you check your? And why on October? Why did you? And who reminded you of that? That you left at 3:45? Because 18 months later, in front of the federal grand jury, you testified that you saw them, which means you didn't leave at 3:45. So, what's up with that? Somebody told her between the federal grand jury and the start of the Kearney trial that you left at 3:45. Someone had to tell her that, right? Because how else did she come to this determination? Someone told her that. Who told her that? That's what I wanted. Who told you that? That's one question I would ask. So why did you not think that you left at 3:45 when you testified in front of the federal grand jury? Who told you that? Yeah, was it Kevin Albert? I don't know. Yeah, like she would have a key card. I mean, I would assume you do something to punch in there, you know? Somebody got to her.
it made it clear to me that there was a distortion of the timeline, and the false memory I created, I provided in good faith, but I retracted immediately, being provided evidence that it was not possible.
Who did you retract it to? Who did you tell?
So I told the defense team prior to the first trial. I also contacted the agents. The agents assured me that good faith.
The agents?
Not what they said, but what you thought. Not what they said to you. But
did they threaten to put you in jail when you told them about your mistake?
No, I even spoke with the legal team, and they said that I made a comment in good faith. There was absolutely no way that I could be charged with anything of being malicious.
The legal team?
We'll get to your conversation with the defense team. Now, I wasn't there in that conversation, was I?
No.
You shared that conversation with me?
I've never shared it with anyone.
Before we get to that, you seem a bit anxious. Are you anxious?
Confused as to why I'm here, but anxious now.
Are you? Have you received any negative pushback because of you sharing your memory? Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
No.
Have you received any warranted attention from the public or media?
Not to my knowledge, but I didn't go digging to find it.
You mentioned the media sent you something. What did they send you?
The media.
So I've seen things in the media. No media has ever been directed for me to find it. It's just this case is unavoidable as a local person on the internet who sees things that get shared.
And the jury heard that. I remember looking at the jury when that and thinking, looking at those 18 jurors that like, she's not wrong about that. That it is impossible. And every night Auntie Bev gives these jurors an instruction not to go and do their own independent research. But how is that possible? How is it possible not to go on social media and see this? If you're telling me all 18 of those jurors are just going home at night and none of them are reading about any of this, I mean, personally, I would recommend that they follow the judge's orders. They should definitely follow it. You know, they're not watching this, right? Because they're following the rules. So it's not like they can hear any of this anyway. But if I were them, I think they should follow the rules. However, I do think, if I'm being unbiased about this, that if the jurors are going on social media and they are consuming this content, I think that's advantage Karen Read, because the proportion of pro Karen Read content on the internet compared to anti Karen Read content on the internet is a pretty large ratio in favor of Karen Read. So the odds are, if any of them are going on and they're consuming this stuff, that is beneficial to Karen Read. And people see the people in the comments. Now, if it's the mainstream media, it's not. Like, if you're going on Twitter, it's not the mean. You're not. I get a lot more interactions on my posts than the mainstream media does. Like, let's just put it that way. Like, I come up in your algorithm a lot more. Like, if you're reading 𝗕𝗏boy, if you're subscribing to my content, I mean, I'm not trying to sway anyone, but if jurors are reading my shit, that's good for Karen Read. I don't think they should. I think they should follow the sequestration order that's been given to them. However, I'm just stating as a fact, if they're learning about this case from me, that doesn't help the Commonwealth at all. I'm just saying. So that's one thing I thought of when she said that. And I'm like, she's right. She is right about that. That you can't go on social media and not know about this. She also, after the mistrial, she was well within her rights to read all about this fucking case if she wants to.
So inevitably, you were contacted by the defense?
Yes, prior to the first trial.
You mentioned that somebody had suggested you be charged with perjury?
Yes.
Do that.
One of the male members of the defense team.
Why did they say that to you? Objection.
Sustained.
What were you discussing when you were threatened with perjury?
They were essentially telling me what they were looking for me to say on the stand.
What were they looking for you to say?
They were looking for me to say that I saw Higgins and 𝗵𝗂𝗧 in the garage with the car.
Did you share with them that that wasn't an accurate memory?
Yes.
How did they respond?
They became very aggressive, raised their voices. And the one word that I can very definitely remember is they said that they would charge me with perjury.
What did they want?
They would charge you with perjury, as Alan Jackson points out. They can't.
They wanted me to say that statement, although I knew at that point it was not an accurate statement given the timeline.
It was not. So they wanted you to, they had just gotten the 𝗃𝗏 information. So they read that and they're like, holy shit, look what this person told the federal grand jury. We got to get her on the stand. And then they contact her and she's like, actually, that never happened. What? Imagine hearing that. If you're Karen Read, you're like, what the fuck? I can't catch a break. Like, this person says this damning thing. Somebody got to her, man. Somebody got to her. And all these people are just cowards too. They're all just like, well, I guess I'll just capitulate. Fuck it. Fuck, who cares? It's just an innocent person going to jail. I'm just going to cover because I care about self-preservation more than anything. God, these people suck. Why can't more people be like Lucky Loughran? Lucky could have lied. Lucky could have said that he didn't plow Fairview Road that night. Lucky could have said he didn't look on the lawn. He could have said a lot of things, but instead he told the goddamn truth. Nicholas Barrows too. And they're both going tomorrow. And we're going to get into that a little later. The new witness is coming up.
How many times were you threatened with perjury?
At least once during the phone call, but once you say it once, it was enough.
What else happened during that phone call? Tell us the tenor of it. Tell us the content of it.
That was essentially the thing I remember most because I understood that was what they wanted me to provide for the trial. I was never called for the first trial. Therefore, I'm not exactly sure what else there is for me to say when the one thing that they wanted on the stand, it is factually not correct and cannot be provided.
If
they threatened you to charge with perjury, tell us what your state of mind was. You can mean it.
Disappointment that legal counsel would go that route with some.
And like, why? How useless are the feds? I mean, I'm starting to see here, like no one, you had a text message from Julie Albert offering a bribe to Michael Proctor. And he says, give it to my wife, divert it to my wife. So it's not traceable to me. And that wasn't enough to get him on something. What? I mean, you have this woman's sworn testimony saying this shit. You got him dead to rights. And then she just calls them up and she's like, nah, remember that really detailed thing I told you that was really incriminating for Higgins and Berkowitz? Yeah, as it turns out, I made it up. Nothing like that happened at all. I thought it did. But as it turns out, it didn't happen at all. And the Fed's like, oh, cool. Have a nice day. Like, that's crazy to me. I see some of these people who the Feds spend their time going after. I mean, like, no offense, they went after Tanya Fernandez Anderson for $7,000 in a bathroom. And I hate Tanya Fernandez Anderson, but they threw the book at her. You know, they went after Tom Brady, the assistant deputy at the jail I stayed in for 60 days, because he got some maintenance guys to do some work at his house for free. And it was an ethics violation, right? They just convicted an MBTA sergeant because he signed a report for a subordinate who beat up a homeless man in 2018. And he signed the report. And they're claiming that I don't even know what he was charged with, like filing a false report and some other shit. And they convicted him of it. And he's facing 20 years in jail. David Finnerty's his name. And it's fucking insane that this is what the Feds get all these people for all this shit. And then these people come back and they're like, yeah, oh, it just didn't happen. Okay, cool. I mean, how fucking useless are these people? What the fuck, dude? What's going on?
Someone who is from a factual timeline saying something is incorrect. There was no retracting based on emotion. It was very clear, given the timeline, it could not be correct.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you work with Boston Police Department?
Yes.
By the way, when you were with Canton, did you ever talk to anybody about creating or planting evidence or doing anything like that?
No, and this conspiracy theory came out a year and a half later.
Whoa. This conspiracy. What conspiracy theory? This trial really hasn't got much into the conspiracy theory, dear. I mean, none of the McAlberts were called, so we really haven't gone. This has been about like the data. This has been a data trial. DeSogra, Judd the Chud, Shannon Burgess. That's what this trial has largely been about. So I don't even know if the jury is like, what the jury's probably like, what conspiracy theory are you talking about? And she said this conspiracy came out a year and a half later. No, Karen Reed was on video at the Milton State Police Barracks talking about it in June of 2022, but it just got amplified by me in April of 2023. Okay.
Did anybody from Canton ever try to suggest to you shouldn't say something to help her side of the case?
No, because I was never spoken to until far after I left.
Did you ever see anybody in this case or any time you were with Canton doing something improper and tampering with evidence?
Not in this case or any case.
If you had, would you have reported it?
Yes.
Sustain.
Move to strike.
I'll strike that, ladies and gentlemen.
So you transferred to the Boston Police Department. Has anybody from the Boston Police Department ever suggested that you should lean your testimony one way or another?
No.
Has anybody from the Boston Police Department given you any rewards or favors for defying the defense position?
No.
Has anybody ever suggested you should say anything whatsoever that would be unhelpful? Did he in any way ever tell you to shoot your testimony?
Not at all.
You spoke to the people at the Boston Police Department. Have they ever weighed in any?
There is discomfort with the way that there's attempting to guide what my testimony is, but I don't feel any need to fall into it because I'm here to speak the truth on the stand. That's my livelihood.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you were threatened with perjury, how long was that conversation with them?
I believe it was just about an hour on the phone. Not on a good note in the slightest. I remember it was a pretty hasty hang up on both ends.
So then,
Crimes.
there we go.
A male voice on that phone call threatened to charge you with perjury.
Yes.
You're a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Who charges people with crimes?
If a crime is committed, there can be a report of it.
Who
So
charges people with crimes?
in the end, it's going to go through the court system. So the district attorney, the ADAs, that's who pursues it in a court setting.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge anybody with a crime?
So you can seek out reporting someone for it.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge someone with a crime, ma'am?
Personally, no.
Right. The fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes.
That's
I contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
I contacted the FBI you contacted the who?
Personally, no.
Right. The fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes. I contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
No. Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, yeah. Look at the smiles. You contacted the FBI, did you? Although, you know, I'm not sure that's the victory we think it is, because they could easily be like, well, maybe she just independently reported corruption to the FBI, because who else are you going to report it to? I guess your boss, but
report?
I have an email conversation where I sent the 2 questions I had. She responded, I will pass these along. I was contacted by their legal team. They reassured me perjury was not applicable because I made a statement in good faith. Upon further information, I retracted it, corrected it, and made it clear that I could no longer say it because I knew that it was not a clear reflection of the events that took place.
That's a mouthful.
Yes.
My question is,
it's a mouthful
from the FBI saying that you reported that someone on the Kearney defense team threatened to charge you, your words, with perjury. You
No.
report to that effect?
No.
No. Your job as a police officer is to be objective, isn't it?
Yes.
You're not supposed to take an adversarial position against one side or the other, correct?
I don't.
Just right down the middle, just the facts, as you know them, correct?
Yes.
You feel like you're being unbiased in your testimony here today in front of these jurors?
I'm telling the truth.
You think you're being fair to both sides?
All I have to do is tell the truth. If it's not perceived to be fair, that's someone else's opinion.
Let's talk about that truth for a second. What you told those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023 was, quote, you recalled seeing Higgins at the station later that day on Saturday. Deborah thought it was also weird that Higgins and Chief Kearney 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧 were by themselves in the Sallyport of the police department. By themselves.
She thought it was weird. This is
those law enforcement
so this is the exact report. This is the FBI report. Listen how specific this is.
Agents on August 9th, 2023 was, quote, you recalled seeing Higgins at the station later that day on Saturday.
She recalled seeing Higgins at the station later that day on Saturday.
Deborah thought it was also weird that Higgins and Chief Kearney 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧 were by themselves in the Sallyport of the police department.
She thought it was weird. She said that. So she saw them there in the Sallyport and she thought it was weird. How the fuck do you get this specific? This is so specific. And she just, the whole thing was in her head. The whole, like, wait a minute. Actually, this never happened because someone told me I was gone by then. What?
By themselves while Karen Reed's car was parked inside. Higgins was a witness and present at the gathering.
While Karen Reed's car was parked there. Another, not like in the garage. While Karen Reed's car was parked there. She saw that. She told the FBI this.
Where O'Keefe was found dead outside. And then he was in the presence of important evidence. You were sitting at dispatch by yourself and saw on the camera outside of the Sallyport when they walked in.
Objection to the entire.
So she was in dispatch watching this. Let me see.
O'Keefe was found dead outside. And then he was in the presence of important evidence. You were
She said it was weird that he was in the presence of important evidence. She told the FBI this.
Sitting at dispatch by yourself and saw on the camera outside of the Sallyport when they walked in.
Objection to the entire.
You were sitting in dispatch by yourself when you witnessed this happen. By yourself. Another detail.
So beyond the scope, so you have to keep it.
There's more to the statement, Your Honor. Do you remember making that statement to the officers?
My recollection of the time was that. So yes.
Okay, great. Did you go on to say, speaking of being truthful, did you go on to say,
I'm objecting.
All right. So you have to ask differently, but I need to see you for a minute with this and bring that with you, please.
No, for fuck's sake.
And Chief Ken Burke. May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. Officer Dever, did you go on to say in that interview, quote, you never saw them leave, them being Brian Higgins and Chief Ken 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗧. You never saw them leave, but you recalled thinking to yourself that they were in the Sallyport for a wildly long time together in there, end quote. Did you say that?
That was my recollection of the time.
Okay.
So yes.
The answer is yes.
Have you ever heard of? By the way, you indicated under questioning by Mr. Brennan that you knew what they wanted from me.
They.
The defense. What they wanted from me.
Yes. Yes.
You remember on that phone call that we read directly from the exact same report that I just read from? Remember that?
And I told you the same thing then.
That's
Yes.
my question.
Objection.
Sustained. My question is, just answer my question, Officer 𝗵𝗵.
Officer
Didn't we read to you where you read the exact same thing that I just read to you on that phone call?
Like you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
I don't remember your name is
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember.
Where you read the same report that I just read from? Remember that?
And I told you the same thing then.
That's my
Yes.
question.
Objection.
Sustained.
My question is, just answer my question, Officer 𝗵𝗵. Didn't we read to you where you read the exact same thing that I just read to you on that phone call?
Like you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
Dude, when she said that, I remember just looking over at the Karen Reed side of the aisle, and everyone, they all looked at me, and they were like, oh, and several members of this jury were like, oh, what a cunt. What a cunt. Good Lord.
Remember your name is
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember. No comments.
More than that, Judge. I think we all.
All right, so no comments, just questions, please.
Do you recall us telling you that we were looking for the truth about your comments?
I'm going to allow it.
We were looking for the truth.
Which I gave you, yes.
Did you also say on that phone call something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one?
I know
I'm changing my testimony.
you're going to.
Changing, no. But you're trying to do that.
Did you say, I know you're going to tear me a new one?
What you're trying to do, so yes.
Actually, what you said was,
Tear you
you're
a
gonna
new
tear me
one?
a new asshole. Didn't you?
I don't recall that, so that's putting words in my mouth.
I'm not asking you to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you if you remember saying that during that phone call. Oh, I know you're going to tear me a new asshole.
I don't recall.
Okay. But you do remember saying something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called blue wall of silence?
Objection.
Sustained.
Tear
Do you
me.
think it's important for police officers to protect one another in the field and out?
Objection.
Sustained.
Have you spoken with anyone, not Mr. Brennan, he's covered that, spoken with anyone from the district attorney's office about your involvement in this case? Ever?
No.
Never?
Unless you're going to provide a person. I'd never talked to any of these people.
Have you talked to anyone at the DA's office at all, in any regard?
Not to my recollection.
How about indirectly?
Not to my knowledge.
Are you friends with any people that you're aware of that are connected to this case? Are you personal friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, personal friends with anyone that's connected with this case?
Other people who's been on the witness stand, one person, yes.
No.
Sarah Levinson.
Of course. Of course.
How long
She's
you known
friends with Sarah Levinson.
We became friends in middle school.
Of course.
Do you watch any of the trial, this trial?
Clips in passing, but no, it's 6 hours a day. So I work during the day shift, no.
So you've seen some of the footage of the goings on in this case, correct?
Yes.
Although I'm pretty sure it's their job to tell her about the sequestration order. I should have pulled this with Hank and just remember we filed as soon as I got on the list. I'm like, oh, we're filing an order because I'm watching this trial. I'm not watching this trial, but somehow this cop doesn't know how sequestration orders work, even though she's testified at trials before.
Nothing with her. I did not watch her testimony.
Were you aware there was a sequestration order?
I don't know what that means, so no.
You're a sworn police officer. You don't know what sequestration means?
No.
In terms of witnesses?
No.
Not watching proceedings in order to affect their testimony?
No, I wasn't aware.
But you did tune in to the case, correct?
In small clips, yes.
And you did, in fact, on August 9th, 2023, have a fulsome conversation with two sworn police officers about your memory of what you saw, your observations on January 29th, 2022, correct?
I don't know if they're police officers necessarily, but yes.
Law enforcement agents, how about that?
Yes.
Agents. What?
And that conversation is reflected in this piece of paper that I just read to you, correct?
Yes.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Thanks.
Order, or that you shouldn't watch any of the footage? Did they fairly inform you about what the ground rules were? That they made a report where you had informed them that they knew Sarah Levinson, and that report had been provided to the defense a long time ago? Did you know
Yes, I informed them very clearly.
So the question about if you know Sarah Levinson, that's no secret in your world, is it?
And that form I'll sustain it.
That isn't a secret, is it?
Not at all.
That's something you were open and candid about?
Yes.
Do you understand that regardless of what you say, It doesn't matter as long as it's the truth. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The Commonwealth no way is asking you to accommodate it or please it in any way. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If there was something that may be perceived by others as adverse to the Commonwealth, you understand we would want you to tell that if it was the truth, don't you?
Sustained.
You understand, well, the Commonwealth has never intimated, suggested, or advised you to say anything other than the truth, have they?
No.
Have you been given any consideration or reward because you remedied your memory?
No.
After being shown the evidence that you left that day.
Have you been given any consideration or reward because you remedied your memory? No, but the message was sent that if I didn't say this, then Michael Cox was not going to be very happy with me. Like that's the whole purpose of that meeting.
January 29, 2022 at 3:45, and learning that the defendant's car did not get to the Sally Port at 5:30 or so p.m. Is there any way you could have seen Mr. 𝗵𝗂𝗧 and Mr. Higgins in the Sally Port with the defendant's car that night before you left for work?
There is no way.
You could have.
Understanding you made a mistake. Was the defense receptive to your explanation that you made a mistake?
Objection. Sustained enough.
Did the defense pressure you when you told them you were going to come into this court and tell the truth about your mistake?
Objection. No, allow it.
Can you rephrase it?
Yes. When you told the defense you had made a mistake about your memory, did they pressure you?
Yes.
Did they pressure you to say something other than the truth?
Yes, they wanted me to repeat a lie at that point, given it would have been with malicious intent to repeat it.
Repeat a lie. It's repeat what you said. So you're saying that you lied, right?
Understanding a lawyer has no power to charge with contempt. Does that change the reality of whether or not you were threatened? Let me ask it a different way. You were asked questions about whether or not you knew who could take out charges for a crime. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless of whether an attorney has that power, were you threatened that there'd be a charge of perjury if you didn't comply with the defense wishes in this case?
Yes.
And knowing you were going to come into court, given this experience you had with the defense, is that why you felt like they were going to carry you? Is that the phrase we used?
A new asshole.
Yes, because they did not want me to tell the truth. So I told them that knowing they were kind of trying to eat me alive into repeating something that is not the truth.
Rather than to come in here and be attacked, wouldn't it have been easier just to said what you had earlier thought was true?
Objection. I'm going to allow that.
Wouldn't it be easier just to come in and accommodate them rather than be threatened?
Well, of course.
So why did you come in here?
My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand right now. If I was to lie, I lose my job. I lose everything. I'm here to tell the truth. I cannot lie while sitting on the stand.
Thank you.
But so you're saying you did lie previously. Like, this is I can't believe I'm living in this world.
One question.
Okay.
Your entire job.
This is great
revolves
ending.
around what you say on the witness stand. Is that what you just testified to?
Yes.
And if you agree that what you said to those two law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, you would be implicating not one, but two police officers, law enforcement officers, correct? If you agreed with what you said in August of 2023 on this witness stand, you would be implicating two officers, fellow officers, correct?
Yes, Higgins and 𝗵𝗂𝗧.
So I'm confused as to what you're asking.
You would be implicating, if you agree with me.
You know
would
exactly.
argue that was the truth.
You know exactly what he's asking, dear. He's asking you if you repeated what you told the FBI that 𝗵𝗵𝗧 and Higgins were alone in the garage with Karen Reed's car, you would be implicating both of them. You know what he's asking.
You now indicated that what you told the law enforcement agents in August of 2023 was a lie.
No,
if you agreed with that statement here on the witness stand, you would be implicating two officers as having been in the Sally Port, weirdly, for a wildly long time with the SUV, implicating not one, but two fellow officers, correct? That's what you would be doing.
It's not possible. I
If
saw
you
that.
agreed with me,
It's not
would you be implicating
possible.
the reputations of two officers?
If I was to lie, then yes.
And your entire job revolves around what you say on that witness stand. That's what you said, correct? That's what you just said, Officer Deborah.
This
correct?
was
I
great.
still don't really understand the question.
You just said, all I'm asking you is what you just said. I wrote it down. You just said, my entire job revolves around what I say on the witness stand, correct?
Yes to that question.
That's all I have.
I'm all done with this guy.
I'm confused. When you spoke to those agents, you didn't implicate Chief 𝗵𝗂𝗧 and Mr. Higgins with doing anything criminal, did you?
No, they were friends. That's why Higgins had an office there.
They were
You didn't
friends.
implicate them ever suggesting they had tampered with evidence, did you?
No.
You never implicated them saying that they had framed anybody, did you?
You certainly suggested it with your testimony that you said it was weird. You said it was weird. You said it was a wildly long time. The word you used was weird, abnormal. You even pointed out that they were with the evidence and that you thought it was weird because Higgins was at the house the night before. You thought that was weird. That was the word that you used.
Now, so when you talked to those agents, did you ever suggest that Mr. Higgins and Mr. Berkowitz did anything to touch or tamper with the defendant's Lexus at all?
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say, yeah, I saw him fucking with the car. You said it was weird that he was even around the car alone. That was the weird part for a wildly long period of time. She never once told the FBI that I saw them fucking doing that, but that was weird that they were doing that. Oh my God.
Is there anybody you're protecting?
I have no one to protect.
Do you need to protect anybody?
No. All right, Officer J. Thank you.
Yeah, so what a disaster. What a disaster. Okay, let me read a couple turtle chats before we get back some other stuff. Excuse me. All right. First up. All right. We have people in court sends $5 goes, a false memory is your mom telling you that your dad beat you with the belt and that's why y'all left. And she tells you that your whole life. As you grew up, you actually remember your dad hitting you with the belt, but he didn't. False memory. Okay. I guess so, but that's not quite this. Yeah, exactly. All right. Pam sends $10 goes, do you know what Liz has the blueprint means? I have no clue what you're talking about. No clue. Oh, you mean from the Proctor texts? I'm not sure. Good question. New Hampshire Saint sends $20 goes, Lucky's head looks like the tip of your intimidator with that crease in it. It does? How would you know what the tip of the intimidator looks like? If you've been watching the videos, don't watch those, please. Thank you. Next up. Let's see. Night in Blue sends $25 goes, I am such a bitch today. 𝗍𝗲 is a freaking douchebag. Disrespectful. I fucking hate her. I wish nothing good for her. Nothing. Love you, Aidan Kearney. Free Turtle Boy. Free Karen Reed. Bev Cannoni is part of this corruption. She knows what she's doing. Yes, she does. She sucks. Thank you. $5 for Stephen and Heather Moore said, did you catch it today? When Jonathan was reading text message, one of them asked, what is the Canton cop homeowner's name? And Proctor replied, he biffed him, which means someone was punched. Google it. Biffed him. I didn't hear that. I'll have to go back and listen. Thank you. Pokey SD sends $5 goes, Kelly would be pissed to know that Hanky called her Denver in his motion. Yeah, he did call her. I know. For a woman who's like so upset about like getting her name right, bro, he called you Denver. You know, Denver. Praying the dream team pulls this off. Free Karen Reed and free you. Well, they kind of have to. Now they're not calling Proctor and stuff. Now you're all in on this. Their entire reputation hinges on this now, you know. James sends $10 goes, bro, you're a hero. When AJ asked 𝗍𝗲 if she knows anyone's boyfriends, girlfriends, was he implying that 𝗺cie Levinson is 𝗍𝗲's man? I don't know. I don't know what he was implying. Thank you. Mia sends $25 goes, gas to Dedham. 𝗍𝗲's nose and acting like there's rando homicides in Canton. Stop it. Exactly. $10 from Asser and Fish again. Can you refresh us on if 𝗃𝗃 was in the waterfall when Higgins was restrained by Chris Albert and yelling towards John O'Keefe? That's a great question if she was still there then. Wondering, hoping she had some information on that. The waterfall is deceptively small if you're looking at the surveillance videos. Higgins was only about 12 to 15 feet from the bar when this happened. Okay, do you guys want some tea? Let's have some tea. So tomorrow, the next witnesses after Dr. Marie Russell are going to be Lucky Loughran, my guy, 𝗺𝗄𝗃𝗃, and Nicholas Barrows. And 2 of those 3 were Commonwealth witnesses last time, 𝗺𝗃𝗃 and Nicholas Barrows, the Dighton cop. Lucky is solid. I think he's the best witness. He's fucking awesome. Nobody on the front lawn. Case closed. Right? 𝗺𝗃𝗃, for some reason, was a Commonwealth witness last time who didn't work out well for them because she said that Karen Reed was affectionate towards John O'Keefe at the bar. They seemed like they were in love. And she even told her husband, why can't we be more like that? And her husband's like a really nice guy too. I think she's a lawyer. So she's a sharp egg, this one. And she also said that it appeared as if Jen McCabe was trying to pull Karen and John apart and try to get John to go to the 34 Fairview alone, suggesting that this was a setup. All right. However, this is just a rumor. I cannot confirm this. But I was right about Kelly Deaver, was I not? Did I not tell you she was going to be a hostile witness? Did I not tell you that her story was going to change? I called that one. So I'm hearing this from the same rumblings. What I'm hearing about 𝗺𝗃𝗃, and I cannot, if this doesn't end up happening, then I don't, that's fine. It's just, I'm not saying this is going to happen. But what I heard from a little birdie, and it's not Karen Reed. She wouldn't. I asked her. She won't answer. She doesn't like giving this shit away. So what I heard was that 𝗺𝗃𝗃 was told by Jennifer McCabe on, I believe, January 30th, that there is a ring camera video of John being hit by a car. And that Jen McCabe told 𝗺𝗃𝗃 this in order to make, to further make sure she's on, or that there was no doubt. Now we'll see if that is we'll see if she says this tomorrow. I don't know. This is just a rumor. I don't know this. This is what a sauce has told me. But they knew that 𝗺𝗃𝗃 was going to be called. And now I know for a fact she's going to be called. And wouldn't that be some tea? Wouldn't it? If she says that, that is like, whoa. Because we know that WBZ falsely reported on February 1st that there was ring camera footage of this happening. And we know that they were group texting each other saying, tell them the guy never came in the house. That would be entirely consistent with who Jennifer McCabe is. If she closes up every loose end. She's like, we need to get the 𝗺𝗃𝗃 on our side. We don't know them that well. They were there that night. We got to convince them that Karen did this. And well, how could we convince them? We just say there's ring camera footage of it happening. If there's ring camera footage, then you're sold. I mean, it sold me. I didn't doubt Karen Reed did it when this first happened because I was told there was ring camera footage of it happening. Case closed. Turns out there wasn't. And that lie effectively got me not to look into this case for 15 months. I didn't even look into this case because there was nothing to fucking look into because it was all on ring camera. You see what I'm saying? It was all on the ring camera. So what the fuck am I going to look into? Now, all of a sudden, if we have a witness tomorrow testify that Jennifer McCabe told her this, wow, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Nicholas Barrows is also going to testify tomorrow. And Nicholas Barrows is a great witness as well. Because at the last trial, Nicholas Barrows said that when he got to Bill Reed's house at whatever time, 3:30, 4, whatever, that the taillight on Karen Reed's car was cracked, but it was not completely broken. He said that twice. Cracked, but not completely broken. He just offered that up out of nowhere. Nobody asked him what the taillight didn't look like. They asked what it looked like, and he said cracked. He could have just stopped there and said cracked. But then he added, but not completely broken. No one asked him what it didn't look like. And he offered that up anyway. And the defense did not cross-examine him. And I remember talking to Ted Daniel about that and being like, why did they not cross-examine him? That guy wanted to talk. Afterwards, I discussed with the Karen this, and they said that, I don't know if it was Karen I spoke to. I talked to somebody who said basically that we got what we wanted out of him. But I don't think the jury understood it. I don't think the jury understood how important that was, right? Because the jury doesn't understand. He said the taillight was cracked, but not completely broken. But they hear broken. Cracked, broken, same shit. It's broken. And they're like, well, they need to understand that we all agree it was broken. But how broken was it? Was it this broken? And they should have shown him a picture of the taillight in the Canton Police Sally Port and said, did it look like this after Michael Proctor got it? Did it look like this? And we're going to find out tomorrow or the next, whenever 𝗫𝗄𝗃 testifies. What's he going to say? What's he going to say? I don't know. Is he going to say that, did it look like this? That's my question. Did it look like this? And if he says no, which I cannot confirm this either, but I would assume that the defense is not calling 𝗫𝗄𝗃 unless they've had a conversation with him, because you get to talk to your witnesses beforehand and they're not taking any chances. Right. So I'm guessing that they spoke with 𝗫𝗄𝗃 and and they're telling, we're going to ask you this. What's your answer to that? What's your answer? So just, that's going to be a jaw-dropping moment if they can get him to say that the taillight did not look like that when I saw it. It looked like that after Michael Proctor took it. Whew. The guy that they're hiding from you. Wow. Powerful shit. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, next up. Deaver's Camel Toe sends $5, goes, could we all agree to call her Deaver and only Deaver? Oh, I think that's already done. That's like Breenan and others and Bukaki, and she's Deaver from now on. 100% of the time, word on the street is that when you call her Deaver, it tickles her camel toe. Not too sure about that. Remedied Memory sends $10, goes, Dr. Daddy, former teacher. I have been teaching high school for 13 years. Nice. The last 3 at a continuation school. So I 100% agree these lawyers need to be consulting with people like me and you on how to engage a jury. Let's start a company called Captive Audience for Dummies. It wouldn't be bad. Also, I was mildly homicidal when I read that Devers has been a cop for 2 years and she makes $143,000. That's what she made last year in the Boston Police Department. Way more than I make after 13 years in the trenches. Free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. If somebody as untalented as her can make that much money, I agree. There's something very, very wrong here. Let me just change this because this is going to bug the shit out of me. Oh. All right, it's a little better. All right, next up. Laura sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, I want to thank all who put in a prayer for my mom, Barbara. She got her kidney biopsy results today and no cancer. Congratulations, Laura. I'm so happy for you. Turns out she was just super low on new Jill Daniels content. Nice. But seriously, we were so happy. While also being aware that not everyone gets this news, including your wonderful mom. Fuck cancer and fuck this prosecution. Can't wait until you're both free. Me too. I really can't wait to be completely free. So thank you very much, Laura. And I'm glad your mom worked out well. Seymour Fuck sends $20, goes, what are the chances that Judge Lou turns out to be none other than Michael Gaffney, the legendary muscle-bound playboy himself? If true, might be the longest slow play in narcissistic theatrics. Just Google Michael Gaffney Turtle Boy, and you will see some of the whole history and what a fucking psychopath that guy is. So thank you, Seymour. Yvette sends $5, goes, listen, John, nobody puts Turtle in a corner. I can't deal with these Village of the Damned, corrupt speds. Scary. Keep advocating cutie. Oh, thank you, Yvette. 𝗬𝗏 sends $5, goes, there is critical timestamps for the 𝗬𝗏 video between around 5:08 to 5:50, particularly the 5:36 moment when the SUV entered the 𝗬𝗏. Is 𝗲𝗏 testifying to witnessing what is missing on that video? I'm not sure. Good question. Sam is down sends $10 and goes, Judd the Chud was on Mythbusters. You got to see this. Also, Brennan takes baths with his mom. Not good. Ill-advised, to say the least. Okay. And he sent me a URL to go on TikTok, but it's just not working. I'm not sure why it's not working. All right. Next up. Nunya Business sends $10, goes, did Tara Kerrigan smell like boiled bunnies? I know she did. Thank you. Courtney sends $10, goes, I read Commissioner Cox was on the anti-gang unit 30 years ago. Brian Albert was also in this unit before he was part of the fugitive task force. Do you know if there's any relationship or connection here with the time frame? Roast me if this is stupid. Love you anyway, Daddy. I don't know if there is a connection, Courtney, but I'm sure that Michael Cox was well aware of who Brian Albert is and the political connections that he has. So there's that. Thank you. Caitlin sends $20, goes, Judge Lou sounds like he needs to swallow those 20 hot dogs he's chewing on. I agree, Caitlin. John sends $10, goes, sorry if I'm slow. Can you help explain what benefit Cox would have if 𝗲𝗏's changing her testimony? That's the one part of today I couldn't follow. Sorry if you covered and I missed it. Well, a lot of these cops don't believe the conspiracy happened because they don't want to believe the other cops are capable of something like this. It just ruins, and it makes them look bad. It makes like all people distrust cops. This is a much easier and better story if Karen did it for them. It's a much more interesting story if she didn't do it. But if she did do it, that's what they want. Nice, simple, and easy. That's what they wanted. And so I think it's beneficial to everyone, except for Karen, of course, if she did it. Right. And, if she did it, I would be all over her. But I think that's what Cox wanted. He's like, I can't have one of my own. And how the fuck did he suddenly decide to bring her up there, man? Why? That's what I want to know. Why? Why did he do that? What inspired him to do that? It's just bizarre. So thank you for that, John. Yeah, the TikTok did not work. Couldn't get on TikTok, so sorry. Next up, Erica sends $5, goes, even if the jury picks up on the FBI, do you think they will just think they were investigating Karen and not the cops? That's what I said earlier. So I'm not convinced that that's the bombshell we hope it is. Aaron sends $10, goes, Kelly Deaver for Elite 8 in Ratchet Madness. I know. It's come. I'm going to do Ratchet Madness at the end of the trial. As long as she's acquitted. If she's not, or if she's convicted, which I don't think she will, not going to happen, I'll be too depressed to do anything. So if she's acquitted or if there's a mistrial, which I hope there's not, then we will do Ratchet Madness right away. Thank you. Turtle Roo Silvio sends $10, goes, listen, Turtle, if Alan Jackson threatened this witness and she reported it to the FBI, why wasn't he charged? I don't know. She acted like she reported him to the FBI. But I don't know. I really don't know. Good question. Sinead O'Connor sends $25, goes, hey, Unc, when will your trial with the McAlberts on the witness intimidation be? Also, is Mello alive? I guess he's alive. He appeared at my last hearing on Zoom when he thought I was going to jail. I have no idea when the trial date will be. None whatsoever. It's nowhere in sight. So let's just keep it that way. Let me refresh that. We have here, let's see. OG Daniel Baker sends $25, goes, I'm so glad someone mentioned the biffed text from Proctor. You must pull that up. I'll do that. Okay. Thank you, Danielle. We also have here, Some cash apps here. Because this has been going off. Okay. Callie sends $10. It goes, free Karen Reed, free the Intimidator. Hashtag. Thank you. You don't want to free the Intimidator. Bad things happen. Tasting Vanity sends $5. It goes, blueprint the cover-up plan of action. Okay. Thank you. Christina sends $10 and says, turtle chats equals clues to where natural selection lands. And Devers' testimony is Tully's new spank bank material. I mean, I don't think she's good looking. She's got she sounds like she has braces on. Tully is a little bit but she's not bad looking. I don't know. I don't like her, so I can't look at her that way at all. You know what I mean? She's too much of a cunt. I can't, if you tell me that you're like anti Karen Reed, that's just like, it's like the biggest turnoff. It really is. And I'm sure women feel the same way about men in their lives. Like if you tell a woman that like, oh, I think Karen Reed's guilty, you ain't getting pussy. You are going without. I mean, you can get some nasty pussy, I guess. You don't want it. You can get a crusty. You got that going for you, at least. You don't want to see the women of the AFKR movement. It's not pretty. You don't want that. Trust me. You don't want that. Stephanie sends $10, goes, play the video of Karen Reed outside about Deaver. I'd have to see it first. Thank you. Kim sends $25, goes, can we wear pink and bring signs to the Registry of Deeds? Yeah. I mean, depending on what the sign is, they let Scott McGinnis walk around with this free Turtle Boy sign and some other signs about corruption and stuff like that. You just can't have like a free Karen Reed one. That's about it. And you can definitely wear pink. 100%. Awesome. Jeannie sends $25, goes, we'll be at the buffer zone tomorrow. Sign my book. 100%, Jeannie. Look forward to seeing you there. I'll sign it during the first break. How about that? Catherine sends $20, goes, LOL about you rattling John DePietro. Yeah, I got to him. I'm in his head. Thank you. I think I read that one already. Chad sends $5, goes, Deaver saw Burke and Higgins on his son's car practicing. Okay. Thank you. All right, cool. If anyone else wants their Turtle Chats read out loud to the class, you can click at the link at the top of the chat for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $Uncle_Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Okay. So there's this judge, right? Judge Jack Lew. We got to talk about this guy for just a moment. I got to find it. What his Twitter account? What's his Twitter called? He goes by Yak-y something on Twitter. At 𝗫𝗄𝗃1778. You got to see this. I thought this was a parody account. It's very real. Very real. So there's this judge named and he was on, I first saw him on NBC 10. I'll find the video. Here it is. About a month ago, he was on Canton Confidential. And this is what he said like a month ago.
People's testimonies in this case.
Tonight, timeline.
I said this yesterday, and Karen.
I would let them drive the bus, and she
is
coverage.
All right, I want to get your take, gentlemen, on
that's him on the right.
Different people's testimonies in this case and what the Commonwealth is asking the jury to believe. In the case of Michael Proctor, he was the lead investigator. His conduct was unbecoming, but we know he
has come with some baggage. And that's the question. In this case, they come with a lot of baggage.
A lot of luggage.
And that's the burden the government has here to try and convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt. Because if jurors have started to
he's a BC law professor.
She's guilty or not guilty, there is ample support already for both verdicts that they could.
No, there's not.
Can the Commonwealth overcome this baggage, Judge?
Oh, absolutely.
If I were Karen Reed, I would be worried sick, and I'm sure she is. Let's face it. They can overcome this. Proctor, who I've said was fired for something everyone else was suspended for. He just use your ESP. He'll come in and say, I apologize for my errors, but the integrity of the investigation is completely unchallenged. And rock solid, proved beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, let's see how this plays in other trials, because we're hoping both of you can weigh in on this possible impact on another high profile.
So he actually said that if I were Karen Reed, I would be worried sick.
Directly.
Okay.
Not directly.
Already have some knowledge of.
Can they bring that up though? When they're on the stand for the Brian Walsh, can the defense?
The short answer is not directly.
Okay.
Not directly.
The door has to be opened.
And that would be unusual.
Okay.
End it once and for all. Maybe we'll start with you on that one, Jack, and maybe also put into context what a directed verdict is.
Yeah, that reveals a slight misunderstanding of what's going on. But they will, I guarantee you, the defense will give a full-throated motion for a required finding of not guilty. I will take a seat before they start. And so that will be done.
After the Commonwealth wraps up its case.
Yes, and after they finish their case, and apparently they have a case. That's how they picked up on all the resume business with the
home. You're the one that's going to put it back together.
It's junk now, though. That truck is junk.
Well, they've taken it all.
It destroys the car.
Yeah. It's when she walks out.
Far from it.
Yeah, you know what this case shows or raises is the apparent immunity that some Boston police, some Canton police, and some, let's face it, other police have from arrest for operating under the influence of liquor, including those police.
Okay, so this guy's just retarded, obviously. I would say he's a diversity hire, but that usually doesn't apply to Asian people. Like, let's be honest. It's like they usually get the short end of that stick. But holy shit, this guy. And wait till you see him on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you got to check this guy. Everyone thought this guy was parody. It's really him. I confirmed this with Sue O'Connell today, that this is in fact his, there he is. This is him with JC Monahan. Okay. So he blocked me a while ago. He just tweets about me nonstop. I'm not much interested in the KR trials, but I'm watching the whole thing. I warned them I'm interested in Mr. K's co-conspirators. I'm Mr. K. You got to go back. He tweets about me. He spent his entire Sunday. He calls me a crime boss. Mr. K and co-conspirators go to church. Okay. Don't intimidate witnesses. This makes judges angry. Do not make the judge angry. What? So he calls us FIs. We are future inmates. And he says, I have observed in 40 plus years in your justice system, future inmates are flesh and blood human beings that are victims too. Future inmate number 1, Karen Reed, is drowning. Future inmate number 2, Mr. K, that's me, tries to save future inmate number 1. And future inmate 3, Kearney's co-conspirators, try to save number 2. They all pull each other down and drown in prison. RIP. What? Last definitional note. FI means future inmates, as in intimidators and doxers. The good peeps are in the good people of the English speaking world. So he calls Commonwealth supporters GPers, that they are good people. I don't even know what any of this means. He keeps calling people, I have no obligation to be neutral. I am not a journalist. If you cannot grasp that, please go away because you are a mental midget. He uses the word mental midgets a lot, which is like offensive. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be using that word. So Mr. K, let's see. AJ and Mr. A can talk to judge on legal matters when there is no jury. Yannetti needs to be able to concentrate. The client should sit next to him and zip it. Change the client's body language. Get the client off the computer and devices. Yeah, sit there, you woman. Stupid woman. Why is this woman looking at a computer involved in her events? She's a stupid woman. That's what he means. That's what he means by that. Because he is a grumpy old misogynist. That's what this guy is at the end of the day. And he doesn't think women should, you know, think for themselves or like do anything, that she should just sit there and look pretty. That's about it. Okay, intimidators and doxers, return to your mommy's basement. The show is over. Okay. Mr. Brennan is so good on cross. Okay. How about this? I'm perfectly willing to turn my phone over to prosecutors, police, law enforcement. I'd like a new one anyway. It contains information and messages from individuals trying to intimidate and dox me. What the fuck? Prosecutors, police, law enforcement. I have posted info on administrative subpoenas in Google, YouTube, on my LinkedIn for investigation of felony intimidation, doxing to, from, with a substantial nexus to Massachusetts. I mean, this is a crazy person. This is an absolute crazy person. We need to rise up against Mr. K's witness intimidators and doxers. And we need the FBI. Although they could be setting up to crash some doors as we speak, they'll never tell you what they're doing. Where is the FBI on Mr. Kearney's friends? I am trying to understand this sorry situation. My views are evolving. Assume Miss Reed and Mr. Kearney are both guilty. It appears that Mr. Kearney is the greater threat to public safety. We must protect our witnesses. I will not be complicit. This is why people, again, this is a guy who was a judge. Okay. He's retired. But for years, somebody this stupid is allowed to determine who gets to go home and who gets to be imprisoned. He can take away your freedom, and he's retarded. Let me share with my ex-friends. When retired Judge Cosgrove took Mr. K's case, I was wondering, why is he taking that case against a small-time criminal? Now I get it. Oh. Okay. So I'm such a threat to society. Here's an example. I just received a message saying I am sending Mr. K love letters like I sent some man. I am fully heterosexual, but don't have the tiniest bit of homophobia, not a speck. So some criminal is trying to intimidate me. What the fuck is he talking about? Okay. I will not answer questions that appear to copy Mr. Kearney. You will have to forward. I recognize him as a flesh and blood human being, but will not intentionally assist him. What? fuck is this guy talking about? You got to see this. If you feel intimidated by my statement that doxing can be a major felony, you may be a doxer committing what? Committing a major felony. The next knock on your door might not be doxing, but the police and FBI with a search warrant for your devices and an arrest warrant for you. But thank you for your input. What? Okay. I cringe for the intimidator doxer whenever I see a post saying, here's Jen McCabe with her friends on Cape Cod 2 hours ago. Think before you post. So you can't. What? It gets crazier. And Yannetti responded to this one where he goes, the real dream team for Miss Reed would have been Yannetti, Rosemary Scarpicchio, and 2 newer lawyers to do some witnesses for experience. And Yannetti actually responds and is like, actually, thanks for the kind words, but, you know, we're pretty good over here. He's all proper about it, you know. And then he made this one about, I think I am achieving some clarity from discussions with Xers. Whether you are pro or anti-Karen Reed, can we work on Hispanic and Black incarceration after the O'Keefe Reed case is over? Those are the folks getting hammered by American incarceration, which kind of goes along with what I said from the beginning with this. If Karen Reed was Black, it would be to her advantage. Because she's not, people like him are just like, fuck her. Fuck her. She's white. I don't care about her. And he interacts with Wendy Murphy all the time. Let me find some more recent ones because it's been. So he posted my motion to dismiss and says, my understanding is that there is at least one more group of charges allegedly committed while on pretrial release. There might or might not be a law that says crimes committed on release must be sentenced consecutively, but that might be wrong. Okay. For the mental midgets, the code of conduct does not apply to retired judges, to the mental midgets. Okay. Let's see what we got up here. Hold on. It got crazier yesterday. How about this? I was a state judge, not a federal judge, but hear me out. Mr. K and his alleged co-conspirators, which is all you guys, have terrorized the good people of southeastern Massachusetts. Why isn't this a RICO gang? Interesting, mull that over. Be strong, GPers. That means good peoples. Good peoples. Making examples out of people is a terrible idea in 99% of cases, but it is an excellent idea for Mr. K and his alleged co-conspirators. Unfortunately, fairly frequently, people are made an example out of, as in cases like this. So he thinks that I'm a gang leader who should be made an example out of by the FBI. Okay. What the fuck? What else do we have here? To get a deal, Mr. Kearney has to give up everyone. It's called full, complete, and truthful cooperation without exception. If he leaves out one person, poof, his deal is gone. Who am I going to give up? There's no one to... Does this guy know anything about my case? There's nothing to give up. Everything's on YouTube. Okay. Save yourself, he's saying. I'm beginning to understand the depravity of Mr. K's RICO gang and his crimes against the good people of southeastern Massachusetts. That is why I unmasked myself. Being a parody was fun, but now I'm as serious as a heart attack as to Mr. K's cockroaches. So he starts calling us cockroaches too. He's got this whole thing with cockroaches. And for those of you guys unfamiliar with it, like cockroach is a genocidal term. For those of you unfamiliar with it, it's what the Tutsis used, or the Hutus used those to call the Tutsis. They called them cockroaches in Rwanda in 1994 in order to dehumanize. Because what do you do to a cockroach? You kill a cockroach, right? A cockroach is a plague. Like everybody hates cockroaches. So you just have to kill them, exterminate them, if you will. And so he's using this a lot. It's not, this is a very real account. It's not parody. This is an actual judge. And he's calling you guys all cockroaches. The hunters have become the hunted. Right. GPers, good peoples. Tomorrow, I may be able to take up a new hobby. What new hobby, you ask? Supplying information on one or two alleged Mr. K co-conspirator, intimidators, doxers to the relevant police departments. The terrorization of Southeast Massachusetts is nearing an end. Stay strong. What the fuck? What else we got here? If you did Mr. K's dirty work for him, call your lawyer now. Turn on him. Turn on him now. He's about to turn on you. The prosecutors always prefer to turn the mule on the kingpin. Oh my God. I mean, this is insane. This is witness intimidation too. Saying I run a gang here. Line up, girls, former intimidators and doxers. Have your lawyers call Mr. Cosgrove for a proffer session time slot. Going fast. Mr. K didn't sleep at all last night. He'll never beat all those separate incidents. Basic rule of criminal defense. He's the bad guy, not you. I mean, he's just calling me a bad guy. Like, bro, you don't even know me. Watch out, coward witness intimidators. Mr. K could be recording his calls or wearing wire. Again, this is a judge, a former judge, probably making 200 grand a year on his pension, right? And he's sitting here just all day long defaming me. All day long. And then he posts about cockroaches. If you're in Mr. K's phone, game over. Time to ask for mercy. Like, what? Note to GPers, Mr. K's mangy, smelly cockroaches may be fewer in number than expected. What? I mean, does this guy have any children that can get him off the internet immediately? Like, again, this guy is retarded, and he had the power up until a couple of years ago to take away your freedom. I'm not a parody, cockroaches, and I have 40 years of experience dealing with you, though I wish I was your worst nightmare. I am as real as the judge's denial of Mr. K's motion to dismiss. I also got many of the charges dismissed too, but okay. Mr. K is a crime boss. Do you know what we do with crime bosses in America? Spoiler alert, it gets ugly. Okay. And he responds to like every troll account. FYI, I posted my redacted BC law. Again, he teaches at BC Law School too. This guy is a teacher. I will be on Canton Confidential Monday and Tuesday. Quoted on the Fox website 5 mornings this week, plus my play-by-play. The taxpayer pays the bulk of my pension. I'm grateful for that. You wish I was a nightmare. What? Look, he's obsessed with cockroaches. See, crushed cockroaches, you know? A trusted friend just DM'd me and said that cockroaches think my account has been hacked. I told him in substance, no, and I'm angry and legal vengeance is mine. This man has lost his fucking mind. Let me just be clear that like Sue and other people, NBC 10, you cannot allow this guy on the air anymore. He is a mentally ill old man who has just completely lost his marbles. He's not a serious person. And if you have him on your channel, you're not a serious channel. And we're going to see tonight what he said. I am as a federal lawyer, but looks like RICO is 20 years to life, except that life here means for the terms of one natural's life, no parole. What? Cockroaches. What? Mr. K's cockroaches, different ball game. My GPs and I will saddle up and provide into law enforcement. I know how to do this. Right after the verdict, Miss Reed's case, as I said many times, Mr. Kearney is a dead man walking. Sounds like a threat. Don't worry about him. Oh my God, this guy's fucking insane. Gather information on identities of each member of the cockroach gang for their dossier and preserve videos, photos, and screenshots for collation after the Reed verdict. What? Anyway, I mean, these mental midget cockroach gang members don't do the arithmetic to understand that you really do pay my pension. The plain truth is that we need an FBI intervention on witness intimidation in southeastern Massachusetts and possibly all of Massachusetts. Okay. Someone please tell Mr. K I am real. Get with it. I refuse to communicate and will block anyone that appears to be him trying to contact me. I will not speak or communicate with Mr. K. Why? Duh. Please tell him I'm real, and I mean every word I write. What the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway, so you check out his Twitter. It's just a real trip. He calls Dr. Russell a prison doctor. And then he was invited on Canton Confidential tonight. So let's watch some highlights from that, shall we? We got to watch tonight's Canton Confidential because it is a real trip. Let me tell you guys. A real trip.
Aid while getting help from other hikers.
We need something to put on his head to like help with the bleeding. And this.
You're but not by the former state police investigator. We take a closer look with our panel of experts. Canton Confidential, the Karen Reed murder trial starts right now.
In what could arguably be described as the most heated testimony of the defense's case so far, Kelly Dever, a former Canton police officer and now Boston police officer, took the stand. Good evening, I'm Glenn Jones. JC has the night off.
Oh, here's Karen's team.
To that outside court.
Are you suggesting that Dever may have been coaxed into changing her testimony?
Yes. What's your reaction to her demeanor? I didn't suggest it. She did. When she was called into the commissioner's office, the story completely changed. It was me subpoenaed her to testify to what she told other authorities and just wanted her to be as honest with us as she was with them.
Honesty, what the defense says they're looking for, and what Dever says she's giving.
My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand right now. If I was to lie, I lose my job. I lose everything.
If you agree with what you said in August of 2023 on this witness stand, you would be implicating two officers, fellow officers, as having been in the Sally Port, weirdly, for a wildly long time with the SUV.
So anyway.
Back to you.
Melody Mendez at the courthouse. Thank you.
Prior to the called Dever, because
To begin with you, what's
Yeah,
the
here we
main
go.
thing here on the testimony from Dever? Is she a cop who got bullied by Jackson or another police officer whose integrity the jury is now going to question?
Well, first of all, if I'm the defense, I would not have called Dever because remember, jurors have been listening to this case for 25 long days, and ultimately they're going to be thinking, what was the point of all of this testimony? Because we know that she actually really didn't see 𝗵𝗃𝗧 and Higgins in the area.
Is this the lady who was on Plevin's channel today? Was this the lady from Plevin's channel? Let me know in the chat. Is that her? Is that the same lady from Plevin's channel? Oh my God. Like this is what. Oh my God. Like this is what NBC 10 has become. Oh my God. Imagine ever going on Plevin's channel.
In the Sally Port when the Lexus was there. So they're going to think, what's the point? And I think it was very risky for Jackson yet again.
Okay, let's get into this a little bit more.
They did not arrive.
So we explain or reconcile this thing that, according to her own testimony, she must have imagined. There's no way she says it could have happened.
Yeah, I think she's really hurtful for the defense and just as a society.
What?
I hope that the Karen Reed folks can start to. A criminal jury is totally unpredictable, right?
Yes.
Disclosure. Unpredictable, but it looks like the Karen Reed ship and her, well, I won't associate them with her yet, but the bands or organization of witness intimidators in Southeast Massachusetts and perhaps elsewhere in the English-speaking world, weirdly, they're all going to go down with the ship, it looks like so far. But
What
the
the
first piece of evidence
fuck?
is usually the best they have.
Do you allow yourself the possibility to think that some of these jurors might really be questioning this witness's integrity as opposed to the bullying that
Like imagine that. Like imagine this. There's so many brilliant minds out there who can offer you insightful commentary on this. And NBC 10 brings on a clearly mentally ill old man. That's what he is. He's a mentally old man. Just look at his Twitter. Just look at his Twitter for 5 minutes. Read what he does all day. This guy should be sitting in a room by himself, spelling words with Cheerios. And instead he's on TV giving, and this guy Glenn Jones is treating him like, oh, here's a thoughtful analyst whose opinion we need to say. No, this man he's mentally ill. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if he's always been like this, but clearly nothing interesting could come out of this man's mouth. And that's not because of the position he's taking. It's just look at his Twitter for 5 minutes.
I'm here on this panel by Alan Jackson.
It's entirely possible. Look at the split in our society. Look at the split, but that's a witness. Ms. Dever is right out of Central Catholic.
What?
Okay, let's get to this viewer question, Margaret, because I think this one will be very interesting. Tyler wants to know, if a defense witness is evasive, combative, and refusing to answer questions from the defense directly, at what point can the judge declare the witness as hostile? And with that being said,
Conspiracy here, and they will be talking about it in jury deliberations.
Okay, after Dever finished her testimony, a familiar face from the first
Groupings
are patterns. And
joining us for this trial, Dr. Russell was an important witness from round one. She was a late edition witness, and it turns out she saw the case in a web article and reached out to offer her insights. We're joined now by our courtroom insider, 𝗃𝗏, who was in the gallery for part of the testimony today. So how was the jury responding to this defense expert witness?
So the jurors that I can read, because as I keep telling you, they're very stoic, they're all taking a lot of notes, but there are a couple of younger women jurors who are responding quite visibly favorably to Dr. Russell, to the point where I've been referring to one as calling her grandmother because she's
I did not notice. See, I was not in. So Sue came in my place when I left. And so that is insight. So Sue's good. She's good. You know, a lot of people have gotten mad at Sue, kind of a fence sitter, but Sue's good shit. And the other side was real mad at her today. She had some real fire tweets today we could talk about that were just on point, and they upset the other side so much. But that's interesting insight.
Really leaning in and hearing about her story and shaking her head. And I think Hank Brennan has his work cut out for him here because he has to discredit her. This is an important part, has to discredit it somehow. But every time he says something to her, they make faces at him. There's a couple who are just furrowing their brows like, why are you being so hard on this woman? Which I'm told, I wasn't in the courtroom for the morning's testimony, that Jackson did not get from the jurors when he was being harder on some of the witnesses.
Right.
So I think she's making a favorable impact. I don't know where he goes with this. He's not attacking her credentials.
Right.
We all know there's no such thing as a dog expert, so you can't get a training in it. You can't write a book on it, although I imagine she will after this. Nothing wrong with adding it to your resume when you're an expert witness, if that's what you want to do. So I think what he's going to try and do is pick apart her testimony in the hearings and in the last trial and show inconsistencies. But the last inconsistency he had was that it matched the coroner's report. So I'm wondering where he's going to go with this.
Okay, the three of you stay right there because we have to get into noticeably absent.
A new mattress is for you. All in prison.
So the most
Easier.
to sell.
Yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No.
She's a whack job, and then uses the C word to describe. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
He then says, yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No. Are those the words that he wrote?
Those are the words. The tale of two trials. In the first trial, lead investigator Michael.
And we haven't even got a chance to talk about Proctor's sex. Probably save that for tomorrow. But this wasn't as good. This is not good. This is not. But I believe that they have a bigger plan for getting all of Proctor's texts in. I just don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. We'll see. I wanted Proctor to read the goddamn text messages.
Himself read derogatory texts he sent about Karen Reed. But for the retrial today, special prosecutor.
Now listen,
read the text.
wait till you hear what Jack Lou has to say about this.
It had been confirmed by a Proctor friend on that text chain who was a defense witness. We're back with our panel now.
Wait for it. This is about to get so bad. This is going to get so bad.
Arben asks, why didn't David Yannetti read the text messages from Proctor this morning as opposed to Brennan? Don't you think it would have been more impactful? Judge Lou, let me come to you on this because I suppose there are many ways to get those text messages into evidence. The way they came into evidence this time is so different than the last time. Could David Yannetti just have read them? Couldn't they have also called Michael Proctor to read them?
Yeah, well, they could have called Michael Proctor if they wanted to blast their case to smithereens or risk that. So if they call Michael Proctor, you know they think they have lost the case because it's
what?
You know what? 80% likely to just explode and kill them.
What?
With the benefit of hindsight, who knew Brennan was going to pull them out and start bandying them about? You know, but that's the rough world of being a trial lawyer, especially the most unnerving of all, criminal defense lawyer.
Let's challenge something slightly that the judge just said. When we talked to Ronald last week, he said on a scale of 1 to 5, the shock value of the Proctor text messages for him was a 6. And he said the same is so when it came to the relevance of deliberating on those text messages. So given that, did the defense miss an opportunity here, or do you think they've handled the text messages in the right way?
Without understanding why they wouldn't want to call Proctor. I don't know that they had a lot of roots here, and I'm not sure they're done with them. I'll defer to both of you, but I think the Yannetti can introduce them kind of like Brennan introduces the clips. So maybe Yannetti will say them later, or Jackson will yell at damage. I think that it did the first time, but I think it's still going to have an impact.
So Margaret, are we in some ways burdened by what happened the first time? Because although we all saw it and know the shock value, perhaps this jury does not even know what it's missing.
That's true. And I was thinking of that because, yeah, when I heard that last year for the first time, I was just stunned.
Absolutely.
I think that by Brennan questioning, it took away some of the steam from the defense. I do. I think that was a mistake.
All right. Judge, why do you think calling Proctor by the defense
Here we go.
means the case explodes on them?
Because he has multiple, it's like a multi-pronged thing. And he can destroy them by showing that he is, allegedly, I got no idea, that he is a nice guy. That the 100% reason he wanted
a nice guy doesn't use the words he was using in those texts.
Proctor is a nice guy, he says. This is who they brought a guy on their channel to say that Proctor is a nice guy. There is no one who thinks Proctor, like no one thinks Proctor is a nice guy. And this judge said this. He came on there to say that.
I'm sorry. This is a real jury there. It's they can.
I'm going to do what one of the jurors do right now. We'll do this.
That I'm pursuing a murderer, and I made terrible errors of judgment, a whole bunch of them, and I apologize deeply for that. But this is a cold-blooded murderer.
All right. Well,
so he calls Karen Reed a cold-blooded murderer, and he calls Michael Proctor a nice guy. I mean, I don't know who to contact about this. But they can never have this fucking guy on the air again, ever. This is disgusting. It is disgusting that they had this mentally ill old man on their channel saying this. Like this is wrong. This is elder abuse. Like this guy is dementia, like lost his fucking mind. Unless he's been like this the whole time, which is even scarier because again, he had institutional power. Sue knows how crazy this person is, but she's not calling the shots.
He's an accused murderer. We should, of course, make that
That's what he's
clear.
going to say if he's called.
Okay. All right. And I can hear the dings of the emails in the inbox right now in the newsroom. Judge Lou, thank you very much for your commentary. Margaret McLean and Sue O'Connell, thank you as well. If you have questions for our panel in this case, keep sending them.
All right. So, yeah, there's that. So we didn't even get to tonight, Dr. Russell, but she's going into tomorrow or the, man, time flies on the show or the Proctor text. We can hit on that tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Cause it's already midnight already. But let me just hit let's do some turtle chats. Let me refresh you in case I miss anyone. Okay. Blessed Mom from Texas sends $15 and goes, "Hey, Aidan, funny how I didn't care for you a couple of years ago, and now I fucking adore you." Oh, thank you. You're amazing. I got a crush on you. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I did my own research on you. Praying for you always. Award-winning journalist. If you have to take a plea deal, we support you. Just be you. You've come a long way. Free Turtle Boy, free Karen Reed. Hope to meet you all when I come to Mass. Just to be clear, I have not been offered any sort of plea deal at all. Like, so that there's like, whatever. Like all I was saying with my rant that these idiots have clipped and posted and stuff like that. All I was saying was that no matter what decision I make, I'm just going to put my children first in all decisions that I make. So there's that. And I would not ever risk hurting them in order to become some sort of martyr for the First Amendment. I will not be doing that. I'm going to take whatever is in the best. I'm going to do whatever's in the best interest of my kids. So there is no deal offered. We're not even talking about anything of the sort at all. And certainly there's no flipping on Karen Reed. That's just retarded. And there's nothing really to talk about there. So again, my number one, if I had the option of just quitting if I had to like go to jail and be away from your kids for 2 years or give everything up, I would just give everything up and I wouldn't even think about it. I would end my show. You would never see me on here again. And I would say, see you later. And I'd find a way to make a living another way. And I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like I would just do it faster than I've ever done anything ever. So that's that. Okay. Next up. Yeah, that's a good point. Proctor's a good guy, but I'm evil. Like he's mentally ill, clearly. Mentally ill. Okay. All right. Next turtle chat says, Scott sends $5, goes, YouTube loophole lawyer Tittle cop finally admits broken taillight. 2006 clearly shows the two taillights all red intact. Sent Yannetti, but question mark. Okay, so that's kind of English. Thank you, Scott. PR man sends $10 and goes, please play my Karen Reed parody song. Again, this is not the road I want to go down. If I haven't watched it. Okay, so I watched 10 seconds of your video and it sucks and I will not be sharing it. It's not funny. You have one picture on it and it sucks. So thank you for the $10, but this is not pay to play. If you send me something that's good, I will share it. But just again, this is like the chance you take on here. Like when you send me a turtle chat like this, I'm not here to coddle your feelings because you sent me $10. If you send me something and it's like, play this tape. Okay, I'll look at it real quick. But that shit sucked. And you should get out of the parody business, my dude. Just whatever time you spent making that video is wasted. Just Get those minutes back in your life, my dude. I'm just being honest with you. It's the best advice you'll ever get. Sometimes people need to hear it. Like, you know, you tell some kids, like, maybe don't put all your eggs in one basket, try to make the NBA, because motherfucker, you 5'8" and white and you can't jump. So that's going to be a real problem for you. No matter, this ain't Ruby. This is not, you're not just going to work hard and get there. It's just not going to happen. So thank you for the $10. Next. You know, but if you make a good song like Auntie Deb or something like that, or 𝗬𝗃, who makes fucking hot beats, he made the Alan Jackson Bang Bang one, like that shit's good. Yeah. No more Dwayne's. It's just being honest with you, dude. Parody ain't your thing. All right, next up. Laura sends $15 and goes, you think there's a video of Officer Deaver leaving work at 3:45? Probably not. I don't think he left at 3:45. Hack Lou sends, okay, $5 and says, listen, Turtle, to what Jack Lou said on tonight's episode of Canton Confidential. Yes, I did. Peter sends $10 and goes, g'day. Love your work. We all get to see this firsthand today. The blue wall of silence, also called the code of silence, exactly, among law enforcement officers, refers to unspoken rules that the police officers will not report fellow. Yes, I'm familiar with what that means. Thank you, Peter. And Hack Lou sends $5 again, says the same shit. Okay, thank you. Kathy McDonald sends $25, goes, Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, Chris Albert Jr., and Ben Berkowitz all graduated from Canton High School in 2016. And Deaver graduated in 2015. Caitlin Albert and Katie McLaughlin were 2014, as was Stephen Mullaney. So I know way too much about this town. Did Mrs. Deaver lie about which witnesses she knows? That's a good point. She would probably know them too, wouldn't she? The plot thickens. How are the trolls thinking today went? Well, for Spanky and company, because they're just retarded. There's no other way around it. Thank you. Wave Dot sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, it seems to me Deaver is involved with the missing 42 minutes of the Sallyport video. She was asked if she had anything to lose by Brennan. I'd say having knowledge of what's on. No, I don't think so. Thank you, Wave Dots. Next up. Again, just because you send your theory on a chat doesn't mean I'm going to humor it or take it seriously. Thank you. Okay. Where did these turtle chats go? Melanie sends $5 and goes, Yaki is the Sean in the Gulf of AKR. He might be. It's good analogy. Thanks. I like it. Okay, let me just refresh this, see if I missed anyone. All right, cool. We good. All right, guys. So anyway, I am going to go to sleep soon, but big day again tomorrow. Awesome new, we're getting so close, man. I'm getting nervous. I want a verdict. I want a happy ending to this. And I think we're going to get it, man. I think we're going to get it. I have faith in this jury. I have faith in the process, but I hope you guys have a great night, and peace to your bum crease, and brush your teeth. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7 months.